Today's episode of Mob Rules is brought to you by the Fly Rent. Still OP, even after 2 weeks.
What's up, douchebag?
What's up, douchebags?
Good
start.
Hey, thanks for having us back in your home
Hey, you're welcome. Yeah.
after last night.
Yeah.
It got pretty wild.
Yeah. We go pretty crazy live on stream. I think Dave and I,
Too hot for TV.
Dave and I drowned in our own salt.
I did better than you did.
Spoilers, but
I still lost, but I did better than you did.
you did much better than me. Yes, it was unique. Those battle reports, if you missed them last night live, are now available on our Patreon page for our wonderful fans. I put those up there today.
All three of you.
All 3 of you. Thanks, Mom and Dad.
Yeah.
And Dave's mom.
Yep.
It was a nice thing I said about her that time.
Yeah, it was.
Many thanks to her.
I'm really glad we turned the cameras off, though, before we retired to the patio, and all of us just fell asleep like old men.
Oh yeah, it was pretty good.
Oh, man, I must have left before that happened.
No, you fell asleep for a little while.
Oh.
You
Yeah,
blocked
we
it.
all fell asleep for about
Oh, right.
5 too. Yeah,
It was one of those, let's just relax.
we relaxed too hard. Hey, but that's okay. So hey, welcome to Mob Rules. I am John, joined as always by
Dave.
And Danny.
Yeah.
Danny.
And the new board. We're joined by the new board.
Yeah, and our new board, which is, from what I'm hearing, already eliminating the tippy-tappy of my dog's feet. So I'm sorry for the one person out there who thanks me for having dog tapping every episode.
Can the board's name be Rhodey?
Oh yeah, it can be Rhodey. Though I did see in the independent characters, they use the same board.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah?
yeah. So I feel I'm in good company now. Yeah, it's
yeah.
like, yes.
Oh, snap.
Yeah. So hey, what have we been up to? It's been a very productive couple of weeks. Dave, what about you? What have you been doing?
Mostly just building and painting stuff. Like I've been working for my my custodes list. My tanks are built. They are base coated, and I worked on some of my characters and filler models that I need for that pure custodes list for our states tournament coming up this weekend.
Yeah, this Saturday, or actually today, tomorrow.
Yeah, when you listen to this, it's I'm already getting my butt kicked, so you know what's happening. I'm gonna draw Danny round 1, and
Sweet.
then in some miraculous fashion, I'll beat him and go.
Don't worry, he'll game it, so he only beats you by about 4 or 5 points. So round 2 is middle of the pack, and not like straight away with the hard
See, that's
battles.
the thing is, I think if he lets me stay in that close, I'm going to take him at the end. He's going to pull a hammy like the rabbit and fall over, and like a turtle, I'm just going to cross that finish line and be like, "Look at my turtle butt, you rabbity bitch."
So many animals in that metaphor that I'm confused. I can't even make a joke because I can't follow along.
I'm trying to be
With,
as obscure and also overwhelmingly flush with references to throw John off the trail.
Cool. The one time I
Trail
don't
to
have
what? Understanding?
Yes.
the one.
Coherentness?
Yes.
The one I can do that myself, sir.
Coherentness. Coherency? Yeah.
Yeah, the one time I don't put like a cricket noise on my board. Dave comes up with that wonderfulness.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Golden.
No, brown.
Well, contrast.
Oh, okay. Yeah, nice.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be talking about that later.
That's cool.
All right, so I've been working on the custodes in order to get 3 colors and also still maintain my pledge of painting up another 15 power level. I have cheated with Trajan and painted his head so that the head is painted and the gold is painted on his armor, and that's it. Head looks great, though.
Cool.
It's the head is very pro-painted. It's going to look really weird sitting on the body, not glued in.
You have good head.
Yeah.
That's good.
He's going to have like a little blue tack necklace.
No, I left the hole big enough. I'm just going to drop the slot in. And
Oh, okay.
I'm just going to fill that slot with that big old neck hole or something. I don't know where I was going. I'm not good at metaphors. Thank you.
Thank you, John.
You're welcome. He was trying so hard to set up that joke.
I was. And
I was
me
like,
and
you,
know what?
Danny, could see you coming a mile off. We're like, no, we're not giving you the satisfaction of that one.
Fine.
So you got some custodes painted up for the state tournament, and then you're working on your next 15 power level. What are you working on for that, Dave? What's it going to be?
Oh, I've got 5 Dire Avengers and a Wraith Lord with a sword with the Wraith Blade because I really like the way it looks, and plus it adds +2 strength. And if he doesn't roll like crap, he can kill people.
So like another Wraith Lord, like the one
he slaughters the bejesus out of Chaos
like
Warriors.
the one that was on camera 5 days ago.
He killed one. He killed one
No, he killed
Chaos Marine. Yeah.
No, he killed
one.
Do not. I will. You know what? I will subscribe to our Patreon just so I can go watch the video back.
Wait, are you for sure? Are you actually taking 2 Wraith Lords?
No. Are you talking about my next?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Because I'm like, you're doing this army list, and I'm like, what?
No.
You mean the one that was on stream 5 days ago?
Yeah, yes, the one that was on stream 5 days ago. I'm not taking a second one. I've got. I've got
too bad.
I have Wraith. Well, why? Because you're just gonna wreck
You're
his
gonna
face.
kill it. So
Yeah, just kill it.
easier.
Just, no, I've got. I'm trying to decide whether I want to go with Wraith Guard or Wraith Blades. I'm feeling more like Wraith Blades. Just kind of because I like them more.
Sure.
They're pretty rad. Are you gonna go ghost axes or swords?
Oh, probably Ghost Axes.
Okay.
All those swords get the it's sword and board effectively, right? Because you get the invuln save.
It's axes and boards.
Yeah, it's Axis
oh,
and
is it action
shields.
boards? Yeah, then definitely Axis.
Okay.
I mean, I like the way they look better.
Well, let me.
I thought I liked the Axis better, like as far as looks goes, and then I built the swords, and the swords are cooler.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no!
Sorry. Well, you can pick whatever you want, though, David. They're your
Well,
models.
luckily, I'm not going to even get into them until after the tournament on
Yeah, I know.
until after states. So they're staying in the box. And then I did a ton of house cleaning because we had high school graduation for the eldest and tons of people coming up that I hate and staying at my house.
Oh, you mean family?
Yes.
Oh, wonderful times.
They're just all there in my space, touching my stuff. What are you doing, Uncle Dave? Shut up. Watching porn, and I'm
Dave is
painting-
was one of
Dire
the favorite
Avengers.
uncles.
Yeah.
Yeah. We love
Watching
going to Uncle's
porn
Day.
and painting models.
Yeah.
That's why he has the paint handle,
I've
so he
run
has
out
a
of-
hand free.
Yeah. I've run out of stuff to watch
Don't
on
ask
Netflix.
where he
I don't have
holds the
anything else to
paint
watch
handle.
right now
I
on my
know
computer.
that. I know that white look chalky.
I am proud to say that I have not used a single wash on any of the models that I painted so far for this challenge.
Why? Why are you proud to say that?
Because I'm trying to improve and better my painting and not just handicap myself like some sort of plebe throwing washes
That's like,
everywhere.
I'm going to go
and
back
letting it
to
pool.
an analogy that I used earlier today. That's like boasting about hanging up a picture by hitting a nail with Baby Bell cheese. It's not handicapping yourself to use a tool.
No, but if you don't have access to the tool because you don't have access to it and you want to learn to be better doing something else, you can still achieve the same effect by taking a different path. And that's what I'm trying to do, is actually make myself a better painter because of it. So if I have access to that tool,
Why,
and
man?
the ability
Contrast
to
is coming along to just ruin painting for everyone. Dude, your painting videos on our YouTube channel now are literally just going to be a white undercoat and then you fucking slather in contrast on the model.
who's ready for 2-minute Ultramarines?
Oh, only 2? You
No.
mean 30-second?
But
It takes time to shake up the pot and put the other colors on.
Oh, fair.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying, though. Yeah, I mean, it's nice to kind of like handicap yourself and kind of challenge yourself to kind of find different ways about it and not just go back and be like, the wash will clean that up.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Nice.
I'm challenging myself to be a better painter,
Good for you,
but
man.
not a better human being.
Well, we know.
Yeah.
Well, painting won't do that for you.
Yeah. I want to know what John's been up to because it's like his last 2 weeks of paternity.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to go back to work. I'm so excited about it. I'm going to spend this weekend putting laminate on my stairs.
Yay.
Wait, I have something for this. So yeah, instead of going to the big GT tournament and getting my fake internet points, I will be putting laminate on the stairs and attending a party for my infant child. I'm excited. No, but it's good. But no, I just...
I recommend attending the party first before the laminate
Oh yeah, that's the plan.
because otherwise you are not going to be happy at that party.
It's unique. But I painted 2 more blight haulers to get me up to the maximum 3 blight haulers. Played a couple game with them. Did not do well because my 30 power level is not a balanced 30 power level whatsoever. When 2/3 of it is one unit of blight haulers,
Yeah.
then it kind of hurts real hard.
So your mission was not very beneficial for you at all.
No, so the mission was I deployed in the center of the table in a 9-inch circle from the center, and Cody and his Tyranids deployed anywhere else in the table that was 9 inches away from me. And then the only mission they had was they had to kill my warlord. Which, surprisingly, Tyranids have quite a few ways to do with 2 Psykers and a bunch of Gene Stealers.
It's amazing how good Gene Stealers are when they can literally start 9 inches away from you.
Yeah.
Just like you're just getting ready to play soccer, and like the ref's getting ready to throw the ball down. The Gene Stealers are
I still had a good time with it.
Football for everybody else.
Even though, like I said, my list isn't super balanced for 30 power level, it proved to me, again, moving forward, how great Blight Haulers are. Good
really
God,
solid.
they were really solid. They didn't die the whole game.
One did.
One died, but they tanked like a squad of Gene Stealers attacks for 3 turns, and just kind of held that line there. They couldn't shoot, but they were making their saves or their feel no pains the whole time.
Yeah, they were pretty
You rolled really well with that.
I was rolling really well with that, yeah. But seeing how I don't really have a lot of depth, I've been kind of planning my next 15 power level. It was going to be like a sorcerer and a contemptor to kind of take care of some
I
things.
still think you should throw the contemptor in there. I mean, you can wait till round
it's going
4
to go
get
in.
the
It's going to go
common.
in next round, but instead this round I'm going to increase my cultist squad to 20. Throw a flamer in there as well, and then I'm going to add 20 poxwalkers.
nice.
And then I'm going to add a malignant plague caster, because something that I'm seeing a lot is I have no psychic defense, and now that kind of over half of the other armies have really effective psychics.
No, all of them will.
Oh, you will as well now as of next
Yeah, I'm
round.
adding a sorcerer next week.
Yeah.
So 2/3 will then.
So yeah, everyone will, because you have.
Because I don't have very good. My psychers did squat.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're Farseer with Doom and Guide.
Seriously?
Oh, well, I didn't. I'm just saying that in that game, It didn't do very well. He did great in the first game.
What's up, douchebag?
I mean, part of the problem was in our game we had that stupid pollution card.
Oh yeah, so as part of it, because we're doing it in an Urban Conquest campaign, and we'll put a picture of the map that we have going up here soon. And I bought a strategy card in between rounds that was instead of drawing one random event that kind of happens for everyone, you draw 3, and I get to pick which ones happens. And the one I picked gave Dave and Danny's game pollution special rules.
Hooray!
Which half the range of assault and heavy weapons.
And regular weapons.
All weapons
All
except
weapons.
for
Pistols.
pistols and grenades.
Oh yeah. So Dave's Guardians had 6-inch shuriken catapults, which is super good against a bunch of close combat chaos guys.
It turned out it was.
Yeah, it turned out it was, but
yeah, so that was super cool. And like I said, the Urban Conquest, even though it was super unbalanced, like my game, it's not like I'm doing it for fake internet points, right? It was still fun. It plays towards a narrative. Like the moves I'm making on the table and the things I'm picking are for narrative reasons. So it's still good. And the way the mission was written, that it was kind of like a sudden attack on my forces, because my forces were reconning and his were assaulting in. So it makes perfect sense that this like small little force would be like, surprise, motherfucker.
Right.
Out of nowhere and kind of like ran down.
oh no, it's a surprise, Flyrant.
That would be a surprise.
How did we see him coming?
He flies really low.
I just didn't have enough
Top gunning
ships with ballistas on it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, they wouldn't have mattered anyway. So
I mean, it depends week to week. But yes. So I was thinking either a sorcerer or a malignant plague caster being added, but then looking through it and kind of remembering that, Chaos Lord doesn't get disgustingly resilient. Chaos Sorcerer doesn't get disgustingly resilient. Yep. The Malignant Plague Caster is the same power level as a Sorcerer, but it gets disgustingly resilient. And it still gets 2 powers from the Death Guard table.
So how are you narratively fitting it into your suddenly getting a psyker in there?
It's
For your hive sprawl people that are...
he's showing up with a bunch of zombies. He's showing up with like 20 poxwalkers and a bunch more cultists. So I guess he was out recruiting or raising the dead or things, and he's like meeting back up. Or maybe his boss was like, holy shit, we just got our ass handed to us. Get down here right now. He's like, hey, did you want like 2 tanks instead? Like, no, you get down here now. And you bring your little zombie people. That's how my person talks. That's how my Chaos Lord talks. Brutal, yeah, pretty much. So I got those guys done, or picked out. I'm using some of the Imperial Guard, Chaos Guard from Blackstone Fortress for my cultists.
Nice. Good models.
And also the Flamer, and that kind of gives me a reason to paint those guys. It turns out I don't have a lot of cultist models, so I was able to kind of assemble another squad of 10 out of those guys and my remaining cultists. And then I ordered. I need to go pick up my Titanicus book. I think that's about all I bought this week.
Did that come out?
Yeah.
I need to go get that.
Yeah. So
yeah, you do.
my third Titanicus book is over there, waiting to be picked up from the store. But that's about all we have. Yeah, that's all I've been up to. I'm super boring this week. Danny, what have you been up to?
Yeah, not that much, honestly, as well.
Well, we all had real life stuff actually happen this time around.
Yeah. I mean,
you were out this last weekend.
oh, that's true. Yeah, I had my anniversary, so
Yeah.
it was,
Couldn't win the tournament this
traveling.
So
weekend.
the one weekend a year you actually have to pay attention to your wife.
yeah. I mean, yeah, it's good to pay attention to her. I'm just kidding. Yeah, we had a good time. We went out on a wildlife cruise, which was pretty fun. So this week I built and primed my pledge for this period. Although,
Well, you will actually have them painted by the time that
probably not.
oh man, you're gonna fail this round. That's -2 glory points.
Is it? Okay.
You lose all your territory to the person with the fully painted list that week.
Okay. All right.
So we're gonna split it between me, Cody, and you.
No, because I had a fully painted list by game time this week.
That doesn't count.
And based.
I can't wait
And
for you to
based,
go back to
yeah.
work next week and get screwed over. How many
Yeah.
How many cultists you got to whip out?
Like 10. If only there was a new product to help me speed along painting coming.
We end before the contrast releases. You know that, right?
Maybe.
Or are you gonna make us continue?
I'll make us continue until I win.
All right, that's fair.
That's
So I
pretty much how we're doing.
I built another box of 10 Chaos Marines. I also built 5 Havocs and
Dick.
put some chain guns on those guys.
Extra dick.
I didn't even get to use them.
I know. That's okay.
So-
because they shrugged off freaking missile fire like a boss.
They did. They
were-
sure did.
They were doomed and guided, and it was like, let's do this.
I was like, nah, that's cool.
Is he shooting?
I'm good, bro.
Is he shooting at us?
Brushing that dirt off their pauldron.
Right? Yeah, flick it off. Yeah.
Brush that off your pauldron.
So I did that. I got about some bits in to complete my next 2 weeks of pledges. Although I realized this week I'm going to have to buy another box of Chaos Space Marines to do a conversion for my. I'm going to make a Lord Executioner or Master Executioner. What is it?
Oh, no, yeah, Lord
I-
Executioner.
Lord Executioner. Do you? I've got a box of Chaos Marines that I just bought, so I could do some paint guides for. That you could steal bits from if you don't want to have to buy a whole nother box.
So I need 4 Chaos Marines. So anyway, it's
all
no
right.
big deal.
Yeah, you buy that yourself, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, I need some because I also bought 3 Lord Discordants this week. And I want to
not for this campaign.
No,
just
no,
so that
no, no.
everybody's clear. Not for this campaign.
no for an army. And so I wanted to I like the rider. He's cool for I want to make my guys flawless host. The Lord Discordants. So I'm gonna repose and convert all the riders so they're either standing or surfing on top of their.
Oh,
steeds.
nice. Cowabunga.
Because
Chester Cheeto.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Because it's
I
not
like-
very Slaneshi, like the guy on the thing with his robe and
Oh,
Well, why
wait.
don't you just buy some of the Sissel pants? Skyle Exec, the dude with the chick on his back.
Selesky.
Selesky? Really? That's how you say it?
I think so.
Why don't you just buy 3 of those? Leave
Okay.
the lady off, cut up them a little bit, and turn them into into a rider. Then it gets a little bit bigger. You know, I mean, it already doesn't matter how tall you are in the grand scheme of things because you already have 12 wounds, so they can shoot you anyway. It doesn't matter. You can't hide. So,
Says you.
you know.
Well, I still want them to be Marines. They're going to be...
Well, I'm just saying you could use them as bits, and then they're definitely way more Slaneshi.
Oh, yeah.
No, Dave, when he
but
says...
he's like twice as tall as a normal Chaos Marine, though.
Yeah. And when Dave...
I think the Lord Discordant should be aptly much larger to
what-
represent the fact that he is 12 wounds.
When Danny says that they're riding the things, I mean, I think you have the wrong idea of what they're doing to the Hellstalkers.
Right. He's fucking it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to convert the tail. So
Just
the
green
tail
stuff,
is,
big old dick.
Oh, it's like the South Park wheelie
it's in that
episode.
that new method of transportation.
Just green stuff up a tube at the front and the tail in the back.
There you go.
That's how he goes.
That's how it's going to be.
Yeah, nice.
With a bunch of blades and stuff on it. Anyway, so
whose did you get this list from?
not him. This is I was looking at the best way to. So the Lord Discordant naturally gives himself +1 to hit,
Right.
which is really cool. And and it really keys off the flawless host ability.
So if you got 3 of them, it's +3 to hit.
No, it's just +1, but it's always better to take more than one of something.
What if you have prescience on them?
Then that's another +1 to hit.
It's but you get to reroll hits then, right?
Fuck you, Dave. I think what you actually might be doing is confusing it with the flawless host stratagem that
what is that?
That lets them reroll misses in close combat.
That sounds like synergy.
Yep, it is.
Really nice
Well, they okay.
Yeah.
They already hit on 2s. Anyway,
synergy.
Fine.
so like
Damn, Dave, your jokes are hitting better than your Wraith Knight or Wraith Lord.
I'm going back to the tape. I'm fairly certain he killed at least 3 Chaos Marines.
I think you're gravely
You
mistaken.
honestly think the Guardians did it in close combat?
No.
The toughness
they
2
shot at him.
Guardians?
Dave, I had by the time the Wraith Lord charged in, I had
5.
3 guys left.
No, you had 5.
No,
Oh, God. You know what?
Whatever.
I'm
Anyway.
on the tape.
Yeah.
we'll go back to the tape.
Let's check the tape. I need an instant replay. Put it on the big screen.
So, anyway, I've been kind of playtesting my list for states this weekend. I'm going to take Necrons. What?
Oh, I was really hoping you would actually be taking the Chaos.
Oh, no, they're not ready yet. So, and I don't want to have to like rush paint a bunch of stuff either. I definitely thought about it, but
Well, on the plus side, when the next big GT tournament comes up, Contrast will be out, so you'll be able to have them painted before that so easily.
yeah, I'm okay. We can talk about contrast when I get to it. Like yeah,
We'll talk about that in a minute.
yeah, I'm excited about it. I think it'll be a really useful tool for a lot of people.
I think it's a great tool. There's colors in it that I already like.
Sure, for sure.
But hey, Danny, what else have you been up to?
Yeah, so the practice games went really good. I'm really excited about this weekend. I hope that the small cold that I'm developing goes away because that would suck for the tournament. But I will
Just sneeze on
persevere,
your-
and I will sneeze right in my opponent's face.
Yeah. Guaranteed
I'll call
win.
it a machine virus.
Gross.
Yeah. Well, that's how I roll, dude.
Yeah. I mean, it's good. It's good.
Gotta win.
And then we played a game, which,
Oh yeah, sure. We played a game.
so
It was we played our
You know what, I
Urban
played-
Conquest game.
I played better this game than I did in the first game.
Yeah,
That's the important thing.
you know what, Dave? I really agree with that. Like, I think you did a lot better in general. Like, the Guardians didn't just suck and die, right?
No, they actually lived. They didn't.
They did great.
Yeah, they did great.
So,
The Dire Avengers, on the other hand, totally sucked and died. They were just like, nah.
well, and I think you maybe could have leveraged them a little bit better,
Yeah.
but this mission made it really hard for the Eldar. Like,
do you
just
enjoy
with the
having
half
your
range,
weapons? Yeah.
yeah,
It's like, nobody gets to hit anything.
yeah. That's tough. That's tough. I get it. And so, yeah, my Chaos Lord was really able to like maximize.
He should have died round 3.
Well, Dave, you can roll one's happen.
What?
So,
No, ones are assured going to happen for me.
okay.
Phoenix Gem, go.
Did you fire and fade at all?
Crap. No, because by the time that I could fire and fade,
Like, I'm just trying to think of different things you could have done with your range, and I'm like, maybe if the Guardians kind of heated up the field, shot a bunch, and then kind of fell back.
so it wouldn't have mattered because as close as Danny, I mean, I set them up on the objective, and as
I mean,
close
regardless,
as Danny was
you're going to be in
get-
charge range, so.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well,
is
the
that-
thing is you'll be in charge range, but you'll also be able to unleash the full fury of a unit of Guardians, which is significant, honestly. Like, when they got to shoot me, when I was like, they overwatched and killed 4 guys.
Yeah, I got really lucky with that. I mean,
No, I don't think so. I think that was pretty.
Yeah. It's
pretty standard.
Yeah.
you think that's pretty standard?
Like shuriken catapults are
if you-
hardcore.
Oh, that Shuriken Catapult didn't do anything, actually. It was just regular Guardians. The Shuriken Catapult missed in that one.
That's a shuriken cannon.
Oh,
the Guardians
cannon,
have shuriken catapults.
Right.
Dire Avengers have Avenger catapults. It's a lot of terminology. I understand.
Sucked. Yeah.
Um,
they did okay. You just made all your saves. You had a good chance of actually dying when you assaulted the Dire Avengers.
it could have happened.
Yeah.
I mean,
dice games.
4s on 4s. I mean, it was, 5s and 6s to hit you, and I got 2 of them, and then 4s, which I rolled both of them, and then you just were like, nah, saved. And I was like, oh.
And then some dead Dire Avengers.
A lot of dead Dire Avengers.
Yep.
And then a Wraith Lord charged you, and he missed.
Yeah. He did poorly.
He was like, oh, I can't see
That
him.
last
It's
cannon
fun.
shot at the start of the game where I
It really crippled me.
yeah, I was surprised on how bad he was after that happened.
I mean, he was only down 1 tier, but the point is that your shot was really good,
Yeah.
And so one of the other things that we had to worry about in this game were the so the 3 things with the pollution that affected us on this stupid roll of 7 or less is the half range on all weapons.
Yeah.
Everybody's automatically obscured, which in Urban Conquest gives them it's -1 to hit.
Yep.
So when you're shooting at an obscured target, you get -1 to hit. If you were out in the open, you also had -1 toughness. So
Which is brutal.
unless you were in ruins or a building,
Mm-hmm.
so who here likes toughness 2 Guardians?
I mean, rapid fire bolters love them.
Yeah,
Hard agree. But when you only have a 12-inch range, it's hard to get in there to do that.
just had trouble getting in there.
So, as per the usual.
So it was a really fun game, and I really had a good time playing it, and
Yeah.
I enjoyed talking about it afterwards to what I could have done differently.
I think just a couple of different moves, I think, would have really changed the outcome.
I mean, I brought the Warwalker in just on the backside because I was like, there's no way he's going to be able to do anything without getting blown up by the rest of your heavy weapons that are sitting over there, so I'm just going to put him over here.
Sure.
And I thought he was out of range until you were like, oh, you're just within 24, and I was like, okay. Las Cannon to the face again. Stupid Las Cannon.
Well, I missed both
Yeah,
the
you
shots. I took at
missed.
him anyway.
Well, and I missed it shooting back. I was like, well, if Las Cannon's in range, I'm going to shoot you too. So,
Sure.
and I was like, never mind. We just whiffed shots at each other.
As is tradition.
So,
Word.
Sweet. Well, I think that's about all we've all been up to so far this next 2 weeks. No tournament games to report or anything fun like that. There's just some good old narrative time.
Yeah, next time.
yeah.
Yeah, next time there will be. But
Oh, yeah. And follow along with our progress this weekend on BCP if you have a chance.
yeah. Get the Best Coast Pairings app. You're looking for Alaska State Tournament, I believe it's called.
I think it's 3rd annual
Third-
Alaska State.
on BCP.
I don't know.
You'll be able to track Danny's progress. You'll be able to see how Dave does in his first round before he has to go home and be a family man.
Spoiler alert, I'm only playing in the first round.
And you're going to get to see how everyone goes along. But we're going to be right back, talk a little bit about some interesting stuff that released this week.
Dude, I'm the best. I took first place at another tournament.
First off, stop with the thunder and lightning. You don't impress me. And second, let me check out the BCP rankings. And I don't see you on there.
What?
Your TO needs to download the Best Coast Pairings app and run events on it. After the event, the results are uploaded into BCP rankings, and the best part, it's easy and free.
But I play multiple game systems.
No big deal. The BCP app can be used for any game. A ton of events every weekend are using it, from major international tournaments to local stores. And now that it's available on Android devices, you're going to have some serious competition.
There can be only one.
BCP Rankings is a fun and exciting way to measure how you or your team stack up. No matter what you play, your score goes to an overall ranking. Or compete to be the best in a game, a circuit, a region, or the world.
Download the app or visit www.bestcoastpairings.com for more info.
Best Coast Pairings.
Are you the best?
All right, we're back. Good times.
Ooh.
And we're back.
We are back. So since we last recorded, Warhammerfest happened.
It's just
Man.
a small little thing. Nobody even went to it.
Just a small little gathering.
Barely any reveals.
Well, I didn't go, so what does it matter to me?
I know, right? Nothing exciting happened there at all.
Well, let me tell you, Danny, about Fest and how amazing Fest was.
What?
I
Did you go?
almost went. And by almost went, I mean I looked at the reveals,
Yeah.
which is about the same. I watched the live blog stream and paid attention to that.
That was pretty
Let
fun.
me tell you what, there was some stuff that looked really good for other games. And then they came out with some stuff for 40K, and I was so excited. You ready? AdMech Transport. We knew it was coming. It's so... What?
I love it.
Dude, it's awesome.
I have to
Really?
see the rules. I don't like the way it looks.
I was talking.
Now, I don't want to see it with walker legs either, but I would have rather seen it with more of a repulsor style grab platform as opposed to being...
I was talking to Beals about this last night. How the thing is with all
like how he's just like Cher now. He's just Beals.
Yeah.
what they have to do with all Imperium factions is they all have to be similar but different. So when you put an army together of AdMech and Imperial Knights and Space Marines, they have to thematically match, yet be distinct. So the reason that the transport comes out looking like this is they pretty much, like someone joked, was like, oh, they just grabbed an old Rhino and put it on a graph platform. I'm like, yeah.
Except that it's...
But the contrast of like the sharp lines on the top from the grav tank or from the Rhino part of it, and like the curves on the bottom from the grav, kind of give it a really kind of like alien look because it's kind of two different.
Yeah, except it doesn't look like a grav. It looks like an old school G.I. Joe hovercraft.
Yeah,
like
dude,
it's
it
just
looks
got
like a
air
hovercraft
blowing.
to me.
Yeah, because
Oh, man.
it's on the ground. It's not floating.
So
It looks like...
So you're telling me that it is in fact a G.I. Joe hovercraft, and you think that's
Hell
a bad thing?
yes. That's awesome,
yeah, except
dude.
it doesn't have any of the cool stuff that G.I. Joe had.
It has stubbers. And a guy
I don't
that's
remember the
hardwired into
G.I. Joe character named Stubbers. Code name Stubbers.
He was the guy after you pulled his legs off.
Oh, God.
You broke the rubber band inside of his torso.
Oh, well, sorry, Hawk. I guess your code name Stubbers now.
Getting ready to storm the beaches of Normandius.
But yeah, no, I think of it like that old hovercraft, except you don't see like a big fan. Now, if it had a big ass fan blade on back, I probably would be more on board.
It has an airboat like little like steering things
Like
though.
Gator.
Dude.
I get okay. So you're trying to make this a bad thing. You refer to it as a GI Joe hovercraft.
The only way
as a Gator fan boat.
Or referencing Gator, the
Yeah. I
I
character.
referenced Gator, yeah.
Oh shit! Burt Reynolds is going to pilot my 40K stuff.
The only way that could... Now I really need to see somebody put a big old Burt Reynolds mustache on an AdMech. Dude, just right on back, just the driver.
Yeah, dude.
Hell yes, yes.
All right, I take it back. I'm sold.
Like I said,
I'm getting 15 now.
I think it's great. I think there's a lot of different ways they could go. If they did like a creepy crab walking thing, sure, it could have worked. But then the cost of that kit.
How is that faster than actually walking?
Oh, right. One, it's not fast and walking. Two, the cost of the kit from
You
having to
apparently
do the
haven't seen
plastic
crabs
flags.
because they are fast as fuck.
Yeah, what did the transport go sideways up the table?
That would be awesome. Just the sideways crab walk.
But it's nice to see, right? I mean, I know we there's other ways to give AdMech transports through Forge World, but now like you have like boats of Electro Priests kind of going up the field, or you're going to have boats of robots going up the field, and it's a nice option to have for Skatari.
You're thinking that the tracked robots can get in?
No,
Maybe.
they're all
Who knows?
robots. Who knows? I haven't seen the rules yet.
I mean, some of them are only partially
Transport
robots, dude.
capacity, 1 Imperial Knight.
I think the thing I don't like about it is the
He's
option.
just going to sit on it like a bucket.
No, two. It has to actually two of them
Get two of them and put them on a knight.
No.
roller skates.
Yeah, hover skates.
He's going to sit in it like a wheelbarrow, and it's going to push him up the table
It's not that big a model, man.
like Hulk in the back of a truck. Yeah, it's
Cool.
good.
You can add that as much as you. It's not gonna.
No, it's not going to make it better.
I think it was. The
So
fact
speaking
that
of knights.
hold on.
Oh no.
Hold
Okay,
on.
I'm sorry. You're not done yet.
I'm not done. I think the thing I actually liked it more as the gunboat itself opened than as not the gunboat, but as the transport itself than the gunboat. You know, it just.
I like the gunboat because I like the missiles, and missiles make me excited.
You liked the red rocket.
Yeah, dude, I'm all about the red rockets.
Okay. But then, Danny, we can't skip on to the evil side until we continue all of the good stuff. So when they dropped the points of the repulsor, I was shocked because I thought, the way my loadout was for last year's Ursa, having 4 of them and Bobby G, I felt that was pretty good. And when they dropped the points cost on the repulsor, I was like, oh man, I can fit a whole nother one, and it's 5 in Bobby G. And now I know why they dropped it. It's because they released some sort of super night killer repulsor.
I don't know, man.
We haven't seen the rules for it yet, but
I can only speculate that it will in fact have the firepower to kill a knight over several turns.
So it has the same plasma annihilator that the knight does. It has the Call's plasma annihilator.
It's my first article for Bulls.
You think so?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, we'll see, I guess.
No.
I don't
I'm sad
know,
it's
man.
not just like the Vindicator where it's just like a giant freaking cannon strapped to the front of it. It just takes up the whole front.
And it's
Like a bomb launcher or something.
I mean, I'm a repulsor guy. We all know I'm a repulsor guy.
You're actually what it's called repulsor sexual.
Yeah. But
It's true.
But Danny, you could say these new tanks leave him repulsed.
They leave me nonplussed,
Oh,
if you will. I'm not excited for them. I will buy one because I need it for the collection. But it's just going to stay in the box unless I see rules that just make me just absolutely jizz myself in a shower of man goo the minute I see it. It just doesn't do anything for me, you know?
So my first reaction, Dave, was I was like, what the fuck, dude? They got rid of my storm bolters over the doors. Then I looked at a rear-facing image of the tank, and it turns out that they've put 2 more rear-facing turrets on the back of the main turret.
Yep, they're now on the turret. And then there's an anti-aircraft gun in the back.
Yeah, which can probably also still be a storm bolter.
I like it where people will be
Fingers
like,
crossed.
Yeah, right.
hey, people aren't buying our repulsors. Must be because it doesn't have enough guns. Add more guns to
Give it a
please.
bigger gun.
So I've seen a couple different variations of it, including one showcased by Tom Walton, the designer of it himself, and they actually have the frag cannons mounted to the front. The frag grenade launchers
Oh, cool.
are actually mounted to the front, so it looks like you can have way more guns than you could. If you thought, the original memes of just all of the guns on the repulsor, they were like, just wait, there's more. you know?
Compensator class tank.
Yeah. And I don't know. It's not balanced in appearance. I think it's the best way for me to describe it.
I like the turret better, I think.
The top turret has, I like symmetry. So the top turret has, here's a round launcher thingy, and here's a big launcher thingy, and then here's a small launcher thingy, and then here's another big launcher thingy. For it's not symmetrical, which I really like.
I just imagine when it goes into battle, Dave, it spins the turret really fast, 360 degrees.
No scope.
And just shoots everything that it can, like, while it's doing that.
So it's a pinwheel call.
Yeah.
So
Hey.
Guilliman walks up and lights the fuse on the turret and just lets it go.
That's actually what gives it the anti-gravic lift. It actually helicopters with the barrel.
My luck, it'd be a dud. It'd be like it'd be like a snake. Just the tank turret just stops melting off into pieces, and I'd be like, "Oh, this didn't shit."
Boys, mistakes were made.
But yeah,
And it's still a transport.
Yeah. Because
I
it
mean-
needs a transport capacity.
right. Because
It's like people are like, can we have a Primaris transport, please? You wanted more guns in the repulsor? Sure.
Yeah.
No,
It's
no,
more
no.
expensive.
so one of my
version the
favorite
transport.
analogies was, everybody was begging, and I wish I could attribute to who this was on Facebook, but it was just somebody's post. It's like everybody was begging for a Primaris transport. Everybody was begging for a Primaris transport. So they lowered the cost of the regular repulsor, and then they gave us the new Primaris Annihilator, I think is what it is, something like that. They gave us a Primaris transport. It was the original repulsor.
With
They gave us
more guns.
They gave us exactly what we asked for. No. You take the regular Primaris repulsor as a transport instead of loading it with all the crazy guns.
Because it doesn't have all the guns like the
Right.
crazy one
Yeah.
does.
You got your transport.
You're like, oh, you didn't want it to transport guns. Oh, that's my bad.
But everybody likes floating gun platforms.
I
Eldar
really
players.
hope that when they redo the Space Marine book, which is, I assume, coming soon, or
Please.
in the near future,
Daddy will give up custodes and go back to Space Marines.
that they just let drop pods carry interceptors, or Primaris Marines.
Just a heads up, Danny. If they do release a new Space Marine Codex, and if we are lucky enough to get to review it, you will not know that we are going to review it until you see me at the store holding a bunch of the Primaris Repulsor Annihilators in line, just like holding like 6 of them standing there. That's when you know we'll be reviewing something.
Oh, okay.
Because Dave saw it and read it already, and it's like, oh, I was wrong. I was so wrong about this thing.
It's wrong about everything.
I was wrong about everything. Bobby G down to 50 points.
I just want your review
God.
video to just be you in front of like a mirror, like an edgy teen, be like, I was wrong about everything. My eyes are open now.
If it was going to be anything, it was going to be Danny doing like the dog shaming, except I'm the dog. Just got a sign around my neck because I'm sitting on the floor and Danny's just staring at me like this. Just the writing is like.
I thought the Repulsor Annihilator was terrible.
Danny's just
Also
throwing
on the
boxes of repulsors at you. Like, no.
Hitting you on the nose with one, yeah.
Well, we have one we could use. It'd be fine.
Hey, another surprise is more stuff than just repulsors was announced at Warhammerfest.
The Iron Hand Tech Marine?
No, he was already announced.
Yeah, he was already announced.
Warhammerfest, bro.
Warcry?
But, well, we'll
Get out of here.
get out of here with that Age of Sigmar bullcrap just now. No, the Codex Chaos Knights.
What?
Was announced.
I'm sorry, the what?
Codex Chaos Knights.
The what?
Stop.
One more time.
So, Danny, Codex Chaos Knights coming out. Muting Dave at the touch of a button.
Thank God. This technology is amazing.
Just. So, yeah, Chaos Knights getting their own codex instead of kind of like a little downloadable rule set, as well as 2 new classes of knight coming out
Heck yeah,
purely
and-
for the bad boys.
Is
And
it
they still
chassis, not classes, right? Still gonna
It's
be
a
the
new
same-
class of knight.
Oh, they're calling it a new class of knight?
Yeah.
Okay, I missed that. I thought it was just saying it was a whole new knight kit. Because
Well,
They are new knight
yeah,
kits.
they're brand new knight kits, not just upgrade spruce, which is amazing.
So, and they have the backward, like the way the legs are mounted, like makes them look. That's how the Cerastus Knights have legs that are very similar to these ones, and those. Well, what I'm getting at
I know what
is
you're
that
saying
these are more well proportioned, and it's like the perfect mix between the traditional knight and the Cerastus Knight. Like the legs look amazing, very hot. So
the whole kit just looks goddamn amazing, dude.
Yeah, and they're going to have their own relics, warlord traits, stratagems, all that other kind of fun stuff. I think we're going to see some crossover from Codex and regular knights.
sure,
But
and Codex Chaos Space Marines. I think.
yeah, it's going to be exciting to see kind of what's coming across Chaos
yeah?
only.
I kind of so
what are you thinking?
I don't know. I think they might get veterans.
Really?
Why?
Does it need veterans?
Not when I say why, like that. I don't mean it like why. That's
'Cause
terrible.
when
But,
they
like
when-
what is the logic behind
on
it?
the review, they say something to the effect of like to represent these veterans of the Long War or something like that.
Wink.
Oh. on the Warhammer community article.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, hey, just looking at the AdMac tank again, it looks like a Roomba with a turret on it.
if you buy enough
That
of
makes
them,
it even
it'll
better.
keep telling
Yeah.
you that it'll keep reminding you need to buy a Castellan.
I was gonna say, or it gets locked in the closet and runs out of batteries.
It's like R.
But yeah,
Kelly.
so it looks like with less P. So the
I don't know. We haven't seen it on the
that
table yet.
new Chaos Knight. Getting back to that, there's the 2 variants. Look like there's a ranged variant and a close combat variant.
I want to imagine. So currently in the supplemental Chaos Knights book, you can just basically take a knight. You say I'm taking the Warden, and you could slap whatever weapons you want on it, as opposed to regular Imperial Knights where you're limited by what weapons are.
Yeah, it's just called a Renegade Knight,
Right.
And you can put whatever weapon combination you want on the arms. So you could have double fists, you could have double Gatling cannons, double battle cannons.
Yeah, I don't know. I really like them. Now, at the same time, I know that there will be some people sitting out there going, well, what about my knight? I spent years converting it and stuff. And
Throw it away. It's trash
yeah,
now.
that's
Paint a new one with contrast.
thanks for stealing my
you
one
guys.
punchline. That's it. You heard it here first, Colin Wingo. Throw them away.
Yeah. Yep. But yeah, I'm excited for Chaos Knights. Excited to see what that one's going to be. Really, kind of where they take that and how it's different from regular knights.
I've never seen, the Knight Codex came out, and I was like, I could see myself running one kind of like as an ally or something in my list, but I could see myself running an entire list of Chaos Knights.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I could see myself playing that just because it just sounds fun, you know.
I think it'd be cool to run a bunch of chaos like
Valiants.
what? No.
Just harpooning the shit out of everybody.
I mean, that does sound rad,
with
though,
veterans,
like, to be honest.
with veterans, so the long war just
It already wounds on it's like strength 16, man.
just ka-tunk, ka-tunk.
I was thinking like a bunch of gallants and then some Lord Discordants and just like murdering everything.
That's just seeing. I mean,
Super fast.
Yeah.
the Lord Discordant Danny is 12 wounds. I can't hide behind the knights.
Oh, but
Sorry,
you
you're
know
right. My bad.
And let me take just a quick second to go ahead and put a disclaimer here before John mutes the shit out of me.
sorry.
Man, you were just fast enough.
When I'm at the touch of a button now, I
so
can do that.
fast now. I fully think the Lord Discordant is an amazing model. And every time I say that the Lord Discordant has 12 wounds, it's just a slap in the face of all the people out there that screamed it wasn't good and are wrong.
You know what's hilarious is they were like,
Off soapbox.
they say on soapbox again.
Oh.
They're like, Lord Discordant is affected by warlord traits now, and all of a sudden everyone's like, oh well, shit, we got to take him now because he gets one.
So hold
rule.
on. Real players were taking him to begin with.
It's fair.
Now it's even better.
Yeah.
Hey,
And I think that's why they're taking him now.
in further Warhammerfest news, on news that has firmly got me on the edge of the shelf of, I hope this is good. Warhammer Apocalypse is coming.
Oh, man. I'm excited about that.
I was not excited about it at all.
Not so. What
And I'm getting a chub.
Oh.
Yeah. Stuff I've seen so
I
far.
really wish you wouldn't watch porn here, Dave.
I'm glad you told me because nobody would ever be able to
Apocalypse
tell.
is my favorite porn star name.
So the thing I like about it is it's not an additional set of rules for how to play Apocalypse games of 40K. So it's not the 8th edition rule set. It's a completely new rule set.
Right.
Which is like, okay,
That's
that makes
why I'm getting
sense.
so excited about it.
That makes sense. And they've done pretty good so far in this past couple of years with rules with like the Speed Freaks game and kind of like the stuff that's coming out and the specialist games that are coming. So I'm excited. If I can play like giant games in a night, then that's good news. My concern with that though is like if they're saying I can do a game in 6 hours, roughly say, and I'm putting down a bunch of say tactical Space Marines, am I going to be spending more time putting them down than like them just being removed from the battlefield
Not
right
with
away?
movement trays, bitch.
They're Imperial fists. They're Imperial fists, John. Black Library is already putting them down. It's fine.
Fair. Very true.
Seriously, the movement trays are half of my chub. That's like, oh, GW putting out movement trays. And I can't wait to pick it up on discount because, you know, this is not a product for everybody. It's like Urban Conquest, John. I mean, which you grabbed at, I'm sure, full price from someplace and not
No,
at
it was
all
on
on
clearance.
crazy clearance
Yeah.
discount.
So I looked at it. It's only $100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
I can't wait for it to go
For
on
all the
clearance
stuff
after
you
I
get
pick
for
up my first set. So I have tons of movement trays.
Oh, I was talking about Urban Conquest.
Yeah.
Oh,
But yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm sure we'll look at it when it comes in. I think in our play group area, we have Warlords, Reavers, all kinds of super heavies. They kind of fuck around with the rules.
it's going to be night on night on night action, baby.
We're going to jump back 10,000 years real quick and do a little 30K action. They're releasing an Ed 209 for Mechanicus, apparently.
what?
It's the Ed 209 from the RoboCop movie is what it looks like.
That's what you're.
It's another knight.
It's an obscure reference.
It looks like the Porphyron.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like a little Mechanicus here.
Yeah, it has like conversion beamer arms.
Mechanic is there.
Yeah, that's a real word.
Yeah.
Some more White Scars coming out, looking super good.
Oh man, yeah, those Terminators look bomb.
The Dark Angels coming. Oh, sorry, White Scar Terminators look amazing with their kind of black armor.
Would be confusing the shit out of me, actually, the
confusing.
first time I saw that. Because the first image they released, when they preview leaked it, it looked like Black Templars.
Yeah,
Because you couldn't
sure.
see the red lightning bolt through the symbol. So the White Scar symbol painted white just looks like the edge of the Iron Cross. And I was like,
Oh sure.
why are Black Templars getting bomb-ass looking Terminators?
I think
There's
my
the-
favorite Contemptor Dreadnought ever, which would be the Blood Angels Contemptor Dreadnought.
It's clearly your second favorite Contemptor Dreadnought ever. The first favorite's sitting on your shelf over there waiting to be painted in two rounds.
No, it is not. I love this Blood Angel one so much. It looks really, really
You
neat.
love it more than your conversion?
I do.
Oh man, and those demons of the Runestorm.
Storm Demons. Ooh. I
please let us
haven't
use
wanted
them.
to buy a Forge World only army since like the first days of Krieg, but seeing these Ruinstorm demons come out, ooh, it's pulling me back to 30k.
The only thing stopping me from stuff like that is the fact that 30k is only mediocre up here. And you know, there's nothing that says that 30k isn't popular in your area where you guys are. It just, if the option is 30k or Age of Sigmar or 40k, it's going to be 40k almost every single time.
Yeah. And also
up here in our area.
They still use 7th edition rules.
I know.
They're modified 7. They're like 7.5. It's like when D&D, when Wizards needed to make more money, so they went from 3 to 3.5.
You really don't realize how unwieldy or how amazing keywords are for solving rules until you go back.
It's so much better.
And look at things like Armor Bane and Flesh Bane, which are the same rules but for different things.
Yeah.
And then
that's it. I think there wasn't anything else at Fest that we need to talk about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much
good.
It. Contrast.
Bum, bum, bum.
If I know, before we go into Contrast, licensing deals.
Yeah.
With Bandai.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to have
Space Marine action figure.
12-inch.
Dude, I can't wait to not paint that and have it sitting in gray primer on my shelf.
It comes pre-painted.
No, I don't think it does.
It does. The ones they're showing you at Warhammerfest, the gray one was a demo version.
Well, that's what
I'm buying. It will
buying.
come fully painted.
Can I get one not painted?
Sadly, not no, but you and 17,000 other people will repaint it. Also, and
because nobody's
Is he
going to want
painted
that.
like an ultramarine?
Yeah, nobody's going to want that guy as an ultramarine. It's going to look like Steve.
I don't know. It's Bandai making it. They might try and go funky with it.
Yeah.
A bunch of different weapon options coming.
Cool.
For it too. So it's going to have
different poses,
different
hands.
poses, different hands, different weapons. I'm
It's
super
so
excited
cool.
for this guy.
Man, that's going to my office.
Look, I've never wanted to paint a tiny model in my life, but chibi me, I want to buy them and take them to a true painting class, a chibi painting class.
I was going to say on the list of things I never knew I wanted until I saw them. Chibi 40K.
Yeah, I was like, chibis are stupid. I would never buy a chibi. What is that?
Yeah, they're grim dorkable.
Yeah. There is 3 of them that look good and one that made me go, what choice was that for? The Inquisitor Greyfax. I was like, who's clamoring for Inquisitor Greyfax?
The dude who designed him probably, or the designer probably.
They just went to him and he was like, listen, I'll design these for you, but I get 1, you get 3.
I mean,
and they were like, cool.
Between these and the Funko Pops, I'm half expecting GW to do an exclusive line of shelves for all the shit that they're releasing that I'm going to have to buy and display.
They call them movement trays for your wall.
Oh.
Non-movement trays.
Trademark.
Only one thing left to talk about, super quick here. Contrast, the new paint system.
On Trizzle.
Okay.
Contrizzle. Or
as the
dip, as Army Painter calls it.
No, it's not dip at all, man, because
No?
it's really not. It's kind of similar in consistency, but dip is one color for the most. Dip is one color, right? You got strong tone, dark tone, that's it. It's there to shade your model. It's not there to color it. But contrast is actually there for you to get your army completely painted in multi-different colors, which was sadly evidenced on a ton of pictures that people took of themselves testing out the contrast paints on a Stormcast model or on a Primaris Intercessor model or a Death Guard model, where they just slapped 17 different colors on willy-nilly, and they were like, yeah, check out how contrast looks on the model. And I was like, well, it looks like a freaking 2-year-old painted it. You're not selling me on it, okay?
I like the Rainbow Death Guard guy. What I really liked is I saw someone did the Brimstone Horrors with 3 different contrast paints.
I did not see that.
And
one.
it
that's
looked
pretty
like
cool.
it was a perfect fire fade. And all it did was like one line you go, I think, light to dark. And you don't even have to wait
makes
for it to
sense.
dry. And you just do line, and it was like a perfect Brimstone. Generally, there has been people complaining about it.
Those people are idiots.
Those people, if you are complaining about contrast, it is not designed for you. That's the only real way to put it. It's designed for people like me who want, say, like every army I have is a horde, right? And I want to have like 100 models.
Sure.
But I don't want to spend like an hour painting every orc boy, because then that's 100 hours
How
of
are
my
you going
time.
to win Golden Demon or Best Painted at a tournament if you don't spend an hour painting each model, John?
Dave, thanks for the setup. I believe most people don't care about winning Golden Demon. If you do, great. And there's some fantastic things out there. But for like painting rank and file troops, like Danny, can you imagine if this stuff was out when Fantasy was out? I mean, it would be amazing.
Yeah, I played undead and I played skeletons in fantasy
because when I played
it
like
was so easy to paint them.
fantasy, and I had like my Bretonians, like my men at arms, like the first 2 rows were beautiful. 3rd and 4th rank, kind of okay. 5th rank, pretty shit. Real basic colors. But like I said, anything that kind of helps get paint out there. You still need some skill with using it.
Yeah.
You still need some direction.
Unless you're looking at the GW picture, which shows the 3-step method, and then the 2-step method for contrast, which is just apply blue paint and it's magically all painted afterwards.
I like this step 1, apply contrast. Step 2, apply 30 other paints to the non-contrast areas.
Yeah.
But I mean, anything that shades.
Is that the way that it's supposed to work? Like you're supposed to use regular paints, like to paint the bolter.
Yeah.
And like the.
No. The only colors that they don't have in the contrast range are metallics.
Right.
So,
but you still go in and add the details and stuff in afterwards. So like if it's like say the ultramarine, you get the McCrag blue and you go, or ultramarine blue, and then you go paint all of the blue parts of the armor and then leave the rest and then go paint the rest normally.
they still use contrast for all that stuff.
But you don't have to, is what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, you didn't have to. If you're going to do that, why bother using the contrast?
Because I don't want to shade and highlight blue armor, and I suck at power armor. I mean, right? That's.
What I'm saying is the contrast line of paints is designed to paint every single thing on the model,
right?
And that and then you're done. One coat and you're done on everything. One thick coat, just like I like to put on Danny's wife. You know what? I didn't like that. Edit that out and post, John.
Huh. We're gonna fight after this.
Couldn't be less afraid. You're so
couldn't be less afraid. But no, I'm just saying, like as a tool.
Yes,
I think that's how it's designed to be used. Is not necessarily. I mean, GW would love it if you use 4 different contrasts and your model is done, but kind of like using it for the majority of the model and kind of picking out the other stuff there is kind of, I think, the best way to use it. But I mean, anyway, it's a great tool to use and a further kind of way to get stuff on the model painted and looking good.
I honestly feel the only thing I think about the contrast that I feel like the people at GW were kind of taking a dig at Peachy, who is the king of dry brushing, whereas Duncan really doesn't like to dry brush. If you ever really watched his videos, he's like, dry brushing? No. We'll just do one edge highlight and call it good. And Peachy's like, dry brush everything. Look at this. I dry brushed a Carnosaur for the fire victims, in the California fire from start to finish faster than other people did everything else. And so they were like, well, fuck Peachy. We're going to make a paint so you don't have to dry brush anymore. And Peachy was probably like,
yes.
All right.
They
cool.
solely, years before moving Christopher Peach to an on-air presenter, were like, you know what, guys? We're going to partner with painters.
Fuck this guy.
For chemicals. Like this army painter guy we just promoted over here. Fuck that guy. New range of paints.
Yep.
I mean, it's perfect. It's flawless.
And we're like, he's too good at that. Let's make it easier. But yeah, the contrast range of paints are designed to paint your model from start to finish, so you don't have to do anything else but just paint that. You don't have to dry brush. You don't have to do anything else. Now, if you want to take it to that next step and get more to it, great. There are colors in the contrast range I want. Snakebite leather is one of them because that was always the best brown way back in the day.
Sure.
And I really want that, and I watched that being used in a video somebody filmed.
On 1/4 of a plague marine.
Yeah. And it just, it was plague dude, plague walker. And it looked great for the leather. It made the leather look great. And that's one thing I'm not great at is leather.
Well, I mean, Danny's mom begs to differ.
Bring out the gimp.
But we're going to go ahead and take a break. We're going to be right back with Rob Porter, one of the tri-headed Cerebi of Comp 40K and the organizer of the Midnight Sun GT up in Alaska this summer. We're going to be right back.
Earl Hagen was a legend. In 1960, he whistled his way into Hollywood and into our hearts. Decades later, he made a comeback, lending those lustrous lips in the 1980s to such bands as the Scorpions, Guns N' Roses, and Pat Benatar. A half-century after his humble beginnings, he's at it again. This time without cumbersome musical accompaniment, he'll have you wetting your whistle and whistling along. His new album, Earl Whistles Disney, is sure to be a hit with all generations. Order now and receive a bonus album, Earl Whistles More Shit. a collection of previously unreleased material of Earl's favorite songs through the years. On this bonus album, he demonstrates his newly mastered technique of inward whistling. Order yours today on compact disc or double-length cassette. Also available at fine retailers such as Walgreens, CVS, and participating Sam Goody stores. Earl Whistles Disney. Buy it today.
So you got the one goblin box for the state of Alaska. Huh.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, we're back with Rob Porter, comp40k.com consigliere, and organizer of one of this year's biggest events in Alaska, in the Midnight Sun GT. What's going on, Rob?
What's up, dudes and dudettes?
He called Dave a girl.
No, damn it.
Yeah, sorry, Dave.
I wasn't fast enough.
You're jumping on that grenade
I'm taking it.
Wait,
as usual.
wait, he's not?
So good to be here.
I'm doing good. I'm building a librarian. I don't know why I'm doing that though.
Ooh,
Haven't figured that out yet.
well, what kind of librarian? Is it like one of the Shadow Spear librarians, or
Is it one
a
of
good
the
one?
new 30K
Yep.
librarian
No, it's a Phobos.
dreadnoughts?
It's a Phobos librarian.
Oh,
You got it.
You know, Rob, I have a painting tutorial you can actually follow. It's 3 steps. It's very easy. It's very, very well done. You could do that, and you too could not be as good a painter as you.
Oh, Jesus. Ironically enough, I was actually watching that this morning. Good plug.
Yeah.
There you go. See,
Only if you shared it on the Comp 40K Facebook page would have been a good plug.
God, yeah. Keep trying, Dave.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus.
Jesus Christ!
Did
It's
you
not
guys check out this video from this guy Dave from Mob Rules?
from a month ago. He didn't
Look,
even.
man.
He didn't even paint the center of the power sword white.
I did.
Look, man. I'll tell you like I tell everybody else. Feel free to post on the group page. It's totally cool. Now, whether it gets approved or not, that's a totally different situation.
I wouldn't post it there. It's not
Oh,
the kind
man.
of thing for that.
So I just want to clarify that. I can post anything I want to that page, right?
That's Comp 40K slash Facebook slash Comp 40K.
This is, you can attempt to post anything in there.
Yeah.
But hey,
Trust me.
what is?
No,
Sorry, you go. Rob.
go ahead. You go first. No, it's all good.
Oh, this is
Okay, man.
great. I'm so glad we have Rob as our first person on the phone.
So you, as a moderator of Comp 40K, switched on the thing where all posts must be approved by a moderator before it goes on the page to kind of weed out some of the bizarre shit people post there. What is the most bizarre thing that someone has tried to post that isn't an advert for sunglasses?
Porn. That's the weirdest one.
That's the weirdest one? Oh.
Yeah, the weirdest one was and I caught it back when I worked nights, so I was doing the night shift moderating, and
So he let it go
somebody
through for a
made-
second, and then
No,
jerked
no,
off and
no,
then
this
took it
was-
off.
No. So I'm just talking like posts that was put up, because every post that goes through there, it notifies all of us, like someone to check it out and approve it. And after the first 6 months, when Competitive 40K was created, between John Paul, Ryan Ray, and myself, like the first 6 months, like it started getting really crazy, that just the random shit getting posted on there. So we decided to just make it moderator approved posts just to help kick out the spam. Because like something would come out on the competitive scene, and then all of a sudden, like Competitive 40K just became like meme 40K page, and that's all you ever saw was just memes everywhere.
Thanks, John.
They're not even good when
And,
they're on meme pages.
Yeah.
No, but it was just a bunch of spam. So then we put that on, and literally within the first 3 days of putting that buffer on, I saw somebody try to post a meme that was some like full body naked chick shot with a Space Marine helmet
It's a
saying,
legit
"Fuck
meme,
me, I'm
Rob.
dirty."
You let that through, all right?
I
Next time.
not, but then there was a link, and the link was the concerning part. That was
Was it?
that was why I had to block it.
Was it forgeworld.co.uk?
John, you probably will recognize this. Do you remember an old link called Meatspin?
I'm going to say no for the benefits of my appearance.
For listeners out there, John is nodding his head yes
But
vigorously.
Vigorously, yeah.
Oh, it's not the only thing
yeah.
that's happening vigorously over here.
That's some good
Mhm.
moderating right here. So up here in Alaska, we
Anyway,
have a pretty good scene right here. We have kind of a lot of good players, all that other kind of stuff. You have taken it in your hands to run, the largest non-store kind of run event in a long time here with the Midnight Sun GT. Tell me some of why that came about.
Yeah, so it was kind of a twofold path, really. One of them was I do a lot of travel, as you guys know, like out of the state of Alaska, and I travel down to like mostly the Pacific Northwest, sometimes Midwest, sometimes Southwest. And I just talk and get to meet people and stuff. And a lot of chatter has always been around like, oh, where are you from, Alaska? Oh, wow, I bet they don't play 40K there. And it's like, actually, yeah, we do. We have a pretty good crowd. And every now and then you get one or two people that say like, oh, don't you guys have one thing like in September? And they go, yeah, Battlezone Ursa, right? And the conversation kind of comes from there. And I noticed that folks don't either know of our meta or our local player base and what we do up here, or they've heard about it, but like they don't really investigate further on it. And I was like, well, what would be like the best way to get more attention? Like our way, right? Just from the overall community, not just our local or like Pacific Northwest. And I spoke to a few guys that are from the Gulf, and I spoke to a few buddies of mine that are based out of like Utah and Idaho, and they're like, dude, all you got to do, like Flying Monkey GT, like Boise Cup, that all came from just constantly running events. Like that's what got the popularity, right? They're at now, was just we kept running events, and it like focused people to notice us, right? Like it forced them to. And I was like, that's actually a really good idea. So we just keep having like GT level events. We'll get more recognition, which it's kind of a fucking duh, right? Like you keep doing the same thing over and over again in the same spot. People are going to go, oh, what the fuck they do?
Oh, sure. Yeah. We've been doing it for 107 episodes.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, that kind of spawned part of it. And I knew that, speaking with Gene before and some of the store ran GTs, you know, a lot of our stores, they supply not just the 40K community, but all the gaming community, right? Well, everything like Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon and Magic, and definitely Magic, but like every community. And it was like, well, it's really hard to fit in the right dates to keep running multiple GTs in the same location. So it's like, all right, well, conversely, at the same exact time when I was talking about all this, my company that I work for, we started getting more involved with like charity events. And a lot of them were like Heart Walks of America, Clean Air Challenge, riding bikes, like 20 or 30 miles one way, right? And I started getting involved in those with work, and I just kind of looked at both sides of it, and I was like, you know what? Like, why can't we have more GTs in our state? Our player base obviously supports it, whether anybody travels in or not, which is better for everybody in our community because anybody who plays competitively can now rack up their points and be serious contenders in the ITC circuit, right?
Yeah.
And how can we do that while also allowing our small community to positively affect another small community, thus raising more awareness to what we do and raising awareness to that community? So I reached out to Awake, who is the Alaska Women's Abuse and Crisis nonprofit organization, last winter, and discussed with them my plans with running these GTs, and Midnight Sun being the first, and if we're successful, we plan on doing more of them. And was telling them, like, I showed them the ITC, I showed them Games Workshop, I showed them Warhammer 40K, what it was all about, you know, and I was like, I feel like this would be a really good positive opportunity for both our communities to get involved. We could play 40K and have a good time, raise some money for your nonprofit, like, and everybody wins. And they were totally on board from the get-go. So from there, it just kind of gained its own traction, and we're at where we're at now, where we've got a venue, we've got a contract, we're advertising like crazy, we've got a lot of community outspoken involvement. I mean, obviously the event hasn't happened, but it just seems like we're just naturally, organically gaining speed that direction. It's been really exciting for the last few months, honestly.
Yeah, and I have my ticket, I know, and I have Cody's ticket, so he and I are both going.
I am too.
Yep. So we'll all be there for sure. Out at the Palmer Fairgrounds up here in Alaska. I know a few of us are making a fun camping trip out of the whole thing, which much hype for.
And some of us are old, so we're either staying in a motorhome or just driving home in general.
You're just staying in a home, Dave.
Old folks home.
But that sounds really great. And it's, like you said, it's a great way to kind of help people. It lets us play with our little toy soldiers while also helping our great cause like Awake. So, hey, yeah, thank you for getting all that set up. Rob, super quick before we let you go, hit us with some links so people who want to come up and play toy soldiers in the most beautiful state in the country that is not a different state.
Okay. I was going to say.
For sure.
We're going to California.
You can come.
Well, as far as the link itself goes, the event has its own website, midnightsungt.com. That website not only goes over the venue location, where the parking's going to be, obviously the mission packs, the ITC code of conduct, the ITC terrain guide rules, all that we're going to follow, just like a frontline grand event. But I also have on the website a list of venues for folks to go to for food, for housing, things to do in Palmer, Alaska, and the surrounding areas. What are good options for air travel, like JetBlue and Alaska Airlines? I have all the airlines listed out. So if you're a traveler coming in, midnightsungt.com, I got it all listed there. So if you need any help getting up here and knowing what to do, you can convince some missions to come up for the weekend, make it a longer one, right? Go do some hiking. Plenty of everything that you need to find is right there. I'll also use this platform, if you don't mind, John.
Go right on ahead, man.
Yeah.
Chill away.
Go for it. Is this about the Taiwanese basket? Because
Oh yeah, you said 2 years, man.
2 years is still going, and by the way, it's still worth it. You need to go check it out. It's like renting a turbocharged Kia. You're very surprised.
Oh my God.
all right. So
On my second plug, I'll also throw out there, beyond just midnightsungt.com, Competitive 40K, the Facebook group, we kind of took on a project about a month and a half ago to develop a website from the group called comp40k.com. And the whole purpose of the website was essentially for us to centralize a hub and archive for any resource material need for any kind of competitive 40K play at any part of the nation that you're playing in or world. We reached out to all the guys at Renegade Open, Warzone, Nova, Frontline. We reached out to a lot of YouTube channels. We're still growing that list, and all the documents, Peter Falcon over at 40K Stats, I mean, everybody. And we just put it all on that website. It's mobile friendly, easy to use. If you've ever been at a tournament and someone said, "Hey, that's an FAQ," or "No, it doesn't work like that," or "Hey, what's our secondaries?" Instead of having to go through Google searches and all this crazy shit to try to find what you need to play, just go to comp40k.com. It's right there. Easy to find.
So you asked all of the more famous people in the comp world and who are very good in general. I can't help but notice that you didn't actually ask Danny to write an article for that. Are you aware that he has penned an article or two for GW, Rob?
However,
actually, Dave, I'll correct you there. The blog itself is actually not ran by anybody beyond Michael Scott, Adam Solis, and Brett Perkins, who are on the moderating team for Competitive 40K.
It's actually an open the game.
It's actually an open concept blog. Anybody can write it. You just got to email us. That's all you got to do. Just write
so you're still gatekeeping then, stopping me from posting my half-naked memes and links to Meat Spin for John.
Because Dave can't use email.
That's true. I suck at technology, Rob. Come on.
His kids blocked his email on his phone.
What's a firewall, Rob? Is that when IP fire?
Well, I mean, we wouldn't be competitive 40K if we didn't at least vet what the hell was being posted, right? Like, somebody could think they're being competitive, but when they're, crying about Ynarri for 5 paragraphs, I got to stop it. So.
Oh man, you actually
just that? Just 5 paragraphs? That doesn't seem right. It should be more than that, I think.
Yeah. No, it's all open forum. So there you go. So Danny, if you want to write a blog, man, if you want to write an article, write one up.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I mean, it's just open. It's for anybody who wants to write that plays competitive. That's all it is. That's all it's there for.
As long as you don't direct anyone to meatspin.com,
right?
Because we've all seen it, and it doesn't work anymore.
That's right.
Hey, Rob. Sorry, on you go there.
No, the only that I was just in closing. That was all I had for a plug. And the last thing I'll say on Midnight Sun GT as well, we do have 6 awards that we're giving away. The top 3 awards are for placing, first, second, and third. Those are going to be true scale weapon replicas.
Triggered.
This This one is themed off Imperium, so we have a full-size bolter, bolt pistol, and then a bolt round. And the bolt round is actually like legit true scale. It's actually .988 caliber. Our local gamer Scott Rogers actually volunteered and donated those from his printing services. So thank you, Scott, for that. And we've also got 3 trophies, which are going to be in the form of purity seals, and the actual like scroll off the purity seal is going to be a prayer or an oath of moment from the actual like book lores. But then there'll be a line in there writing out like, I am best painted or I am best sportsman, right? So like part of the prayer is that cool. You're declaring that, right? So we'll have 3 of those for best painted, best sportsman, and Alaskan tradition, Red Lantern.
Is that just in Alaska? Oh, because they do spoon down in the lower 48, don't you? Oh, the wooden spoon is what they tend to do in the lower 48. Yeah, suck it, lower 48. We got a lantern. You want to get a lantern, you got to come on up.
Midnight Sun Dave gunning for that red lantern.
No, not an actual lantern.
What? I'm out. Refund my ticket, please, Rob.
You're not out, Dave. You're more in contention for that than ever before. But yeah, definitely. If you've ever thought about coming up to Alaska, Midnight Sun is a great time to do that. Middle of the summer, beautiful Palmer, great views all around. And going to be a great ITC tournament up here at midnightsungT.com for all of your information on that. Hey, Rob, thanks a lot, man.
Yeah. Hey, take care, Rob.
No, thank you, guys.
Yep, I'm super excited about
the time. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no problem at all. We'll figure this out.
Well.
Danny, I'll also say I'm also very excited for the event. Not the event itself, but just to see you in it.
Oh.
Ooh.
Spoiler alert, he's playing with Houston's list.
Just got to get the hell drakes, man.
Pants.
Yeah.
As long as he's not wearing pants, I'm cool with that.
Just chaps, buddy.
Don't tease.
All right, buddy. We'll talk to you here soon.
If you're in the Anchorage area and need your hobby fix, head on down to Tier 1 Cards and Games. Whether it's 40K, X-Wing, Attack Wing, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Dragon Ball, Pokemon, War Machine, Age of Sigmar, Malifaux, or even Magic, the Gathering kind, not the Siegfried and Roy kind, Tier 1 Cards and Games has the space, the players, and products for you to build your forces and destroy your foes. Not in Alaska? Enjoy our snow suckers. We've got none. And while you're stuck inside, check out Tier 1's live Twitch stream at www.twitch.tv/Tier1Cards, streaming ITC format, 40K starting at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on the last Saturday of every month.
And we're back. Eventually.
That was fun.
Oof, yeah.
Nobody knows how long it actually was, John. You have to tell him eventually.
My God, what a fun and not at all Reaper-based editing issue I just had. So, Ynarri, talking about bringing things back from the dead unexpectedly.
What? They were never dead.
They're even stronger now before. I mean.
So, Ynarri have been released as a White Dwarf-based index. So not as a separate codex, which kind of makes sense with the range of units that they can take.
Can I just say for a second that I'm really enjoying these articles, these little mini dexes being put into White Dwarf. You had the Crimson Fists, and now you have Ynarri.
And Assassins.
And nobody takes Assassins. They're useless.
Okay.
Nobody sideboards 4 of them at every major tournament.
Yeah, that White Dwarf is sold out still for the reason that Assassins are bad.
But I think it's really cool that they're doing this. And in fact, this particular issue, which was May's issue, is packed full of stuff on how to paint it and like that. And then I guess there's a few articles on stuff nobody cares about, like I don't know, like what are some of the other games that GW makes?
Age of
Sagmar?
Sigar?
Sigar.
Age of Cigar.
There's another one with glory points and holes, shards.
Wow. I'm big fans of those. But literally, like almost 30 pages of this White Dwarf is Index Xenos, as it's called, and the Ynarri. And it's almost like it's a complete codex, honestly. Like I said, the way the Ynarri army is formed, where it's just kind of taking some units from Craft World, it's taken some units from Drew Carey's, has taken some units from the Harley Quinns.
The Ynarri is right.
It doesn't make sense to release it as a full codex because the sheer amount of units you would put into it would make it thicker than Codex Space Marines.
I mean, 7th edition Ynarri Codex would beg to differ, but
I think that if you limited them a little bit, like not gave them access to every unit and then gave them their own units, that would be cool.
Or maybe if you made it so that certain powers only affected certain units and no longer affected Ynarri because they have Reborn as Yrani as their keywords instead of Craft World.
Yeah, that's a rule now.
Right. Oh, is it?
Oh, wait. Huh. Danny, you didn't know it was a joke because I didn't go.
Oh,
so now you know.
That's your fault, John.
I'm sorry.
You know what, Danny? We're sitting in the same room talking to each other. The sarcasm didn't come through.
I don't know.
I'm going to have to up my sarcasm.
I was even looking at your face, too.
You're up to spitecasm
first off, you shouldn't
right
do
now.
that because I am the emperor, as it's been stated.
I know. I
Looking
try not
upon
to
me
look
is blinding.
directly into your face.
I appreciate that. Just during the money shot. So Ynarri is good, right?
They're their own thing now.
No,
yeah.
Never is. Stinks. All right. So
yeah, Danny, go take us away about Ynarri.
All right. So where do we want to start? Do we want to talk
tell us
about
the
fluff?
story. Tell
do
me
we
the
want to talk
story about
Yeah,
Ynarri,
let's
Danny.
talk about the story of Ynarri.
So there was this chick. So Yvraine got captured. Her origins are kind of mysterious by the Cormorites.
Yeah.
And so she was fighting in an arena against, I think she was fighting against Leoth Hellsprax.
She was, yes.
Yeah.
The,
and so then she manifested Enid after Eldrad had started creating
Right.
Enid
So,
through the events of what's that?
The Death Mask box.
Right, Death
which
Mask.
was Harlequins and Eldrad versus Space Marines.
Death Watch.
They had kind of Eldrad going for some MacGuffin to save his race and yada, yada, yada. About this same time, you have Yvraine fighting to the death against Lilith and a death match in Comora. And when the Death Watch fuck it up, so Eldrad doesn't do his ceremony right.
Or what he thinks he's doing, not doing right.
Oh, sure. Yeah. At the same time, I believe Yvraine dies or gets killed in the arena, and then she gets brought back to life
with strength.
Reborn, if you will.
Reborn, yeah.
Stronger.
I'm sorry. Thank
from
you.
Death.
Yes. She gained strength from it. And it was at this time kind of the cult of Ynarri kind of really took off.
Right,
Well, when you watch
everybody was super shocked when this happens, right?
Let's think about it. I mean, we're drawing literally from the Old or the New Testament here with this particular thing. How much more powerful was Jesus when he walked out of the cave 3 days later, and how many more Christians were born right then in that moment, reborn into Christianity? Just the same thing. If you watch this chick die and be like, ding,
so wait, first of all, as a cradle Catholic, I have no idea. So
It's going to take your word on that.
I don't know what a cradle Catholic
is.
Is that when a priest touches you in the cradle?
Wow. No, that's when you were born into the religion. And so
that's not that's like saying you're Jewish just because your mom was Jewish. It's not the same thing at all.
What?
You know what? It's a whole topic for me. I don't want to get into it. I'll shut this podcast down. We'll go past it.
Here,
so you don't
shut his mic off, and we'll go past it.
Well, I mean, I'm still I'm practicing.
You understand what I'm saying, though.
But at the same time,
right. What I'm saying is, think about it, though. This was a big event where Jesus was reborn, supposedly, and then he brought chocolate bunnies and Easter eggs, right?
Right.
Okay.
That's in the New Testament.
Right. So basically the same thing.
Book of Mormon.
She was. That's a movie, isn't it?
And a play. No, just a play.
So she was reborn there, which caused people to suddenly start flocking to her. Is what I'm saying. Loosely, what I'm saying is,
and then
Enid is Jesus
planted the idea in her mind about what she needed to do
the Easter bunny
to fully manifest, and that's collect all of the swords.
Right.
So she had to collect she had to go hunting for the Easter eggs.
Right.
Which are spread out, including the one that is in Durgal's garden.
Yep.
Which we know she got.
Yep.
Thanks to Path of the...
which I honestly, sadly, is I really like the Eldar, and I haven't read any of those books.
They're pretty good.
Yeah, I'll
you know what?
them up.
We have an episode where we review it, where fortunately the person that didn't like them wasn't there. So it was just two of us that managed to read it.
Oh, okay.
Which was, I love Gab Thorpe, and I think, John, you said the same thing. It was a foot slog. until it hit point X. And when it hit point X, it was like,
Yeah.
all bets are off. This shit's flying along.
So is this the one with the Gene Stealers?
Yeah.
Oh, spoiler alert.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry.
Up until about
haven't read it.
halfway through, it's really it was
Ruined.
It was just a great description of Eldar politics.
Oh, okay.
And the long way that it took
well.
was going.
They had to kind of build how Ynarri interact with existing Eldar.
Sure, that
So
makes sense.
there was legwork that had to be done there. So I get it.
I think if it was the Spinoza level excitement all the way up until the Gene Stealer reveal, you'd be like, Gene Stealers, I don't even care anymore.
But moving back to where we were before, when Yvrin is kind of resurrected, you're right. Unit puts the ideas in their heads. Well, hey, to resurrect me, you're going to need 5 swords.
Yep. And you need
And
to
also-
blow up Bealtan.
Also, kill a whole bunch of your brothers.
Oh, yeah. That's also true. To make me stronger.
Yeah.
well,
So
Bealtan
I'm a
sucks
little,
anyway, so
I'm a
it's
little
fine.
suspicious when their God of Death's plan to save them from Slaanesh is to kill all of the Eldar and collect 5 demon swords.
You weren't that suspicious. You still painted that bitch the moment she came out.
Are we
following Duncan's
sure?
tutorial.
Are we sure that it isn't just Slaanesh in a dress or a pair of
No.
pants?
I mean, it could be.
Couldn't it be a
Because like
Skort?
the whole, hey, just kill all the Eldar, it's fine, and then unleash all of the souls at once.
Please.
Please, so hungry.
But like at the same time, think about like how Slaanesh was born, right? Slaanesh was born via like
They.
the Eldar dying, right?
Yeah.
No,
No, it wasn't they.
Or not living it up.
I was going to say, weren't they created during a mass, just absolute frenzy of debauchery?
It was
Slaanesh.
Yeah.
It was centuries of debauchery. And
Yeah.
Well, and then it all
reached a
accumulated
frenzy.
and, like right, and
It's
then
like
up,
watching
and then
Caligula 15 times in a row, but speeding up the movie every single time.
yeah, like 99% of the Eldar race died at that instant, and that's what created Slaanesh, right? So
They went out in a big bang.
right, sure, yes, Dave. But
Come on.
no, the first one was better. Yeah, that you deserve a half a rim shot for that. Your mom deserves the
Half a
full
rim shot wouldn't have formed Slaanesh. That's all I'm saying.
So, moving on. So it makes sense, like that a god that is derived of Eldar souls would resemble Slaanesh, right?
That's fair, right? Yeah.
So, like, because it's basically it's kind of very similar,
But
it's just of death rather than of experience.
does it look like Slaanesh with a mustache and maybe,
Maybe,
a pair of
maybe.
glasses?
Maybe. And a top hat.
Top hat. Yeah, there it is.
Sorry, I mean fedora.
I'm not Slaanesh.
So this is when we kind of the Vizark kind of comes in here, saves Yvrin
The
from
Vizark.
being trampled and kind of killed, and they escape Comera with a bunch of incubi, and kind of this is the start of their forces. They escape through the webway with some Harlequin help, and that's when we kind of got to get our Harlequins in.
The Harlequins are always helping out. They're amazing like that.
They just do what they think is funny. They're like Jackass 40,000. It doesn't make sense, but it's funny to them. And
right.
God bless them.
We'll help you, but we get to throw the shopping cart into your nuts first.
Hi, I'm a solitaire, and this is Webway Jump Portal.
Man, that's the best description of Harlequins I've ever heard, and now that will always stick with me forever. Thank you.
You're welcome. They kind of jump out at Bealtan at this point here, and then they're like, hey, so we're here now. We're a thing. We're going to need all of your soul stones.
From your Infinity Matrix.
From your Infinity Matrix. And Bealtan is obviously like, the fuck no.
Fuck you, first of all. Second of all, fuck you again.
Third of all,
No.
go away. Luckily, at that time, I think Bealtan gets attacked by a Nurgle fleet.
Yeah, I think that's right, yeah.
Is that luckily?
Well, yeah, because they don't get fucked off. It's again showing this power of a knit, kind of, and it really in the Gathering Storm book where this kind of first came out, it really shows the strength from death and how they got the following, because they're seeing like them fight harder and harder and harder as it goes along. However, they do accidentally blow up Bealtan.
I mean, it's fine. They got some duct tape and stuff, put it back together.
No. Bealtan is now a fleet-based craft world.
Yep.
Good.
I don't believe they have an avatar anymore. I think their avatar got destroyed as part of it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Isn't the Avatar
I
kind
would
of like
assume they still have an avatar. They're like the avatar craft world too. So
they had like an Avatar in every corner, you know, they were just everywhere. It's like it was like a 7-Eleven. You could just find it by walking 20 feet.
Awesome.
And then that's when they kind of hook up with the Ultramarines and over on Cadia. And kind of trying to...
Just goes to prove how dirty and non-loyal Ultramarines really are.
Yeah.
For those paying attention.
In fact, no, they go to McCrag, actually, first. And then they...
I thought that they escaped through the webway, getting a bunch of key characters from Cadia to McCrag.
That's right, they did. They grabbed some
like
of those...
Celestine and Greyfax and...
Yes.
Well, so the webway passed through Trajan's lair then.
No, because what happens...
Trajan's.
Greyfax got released as part of the Trazon's Pokemoning of all of his stuff to try and save the Acadian pylons. And then afterwards, the Ynarri came and kind of took Greyfax away with Celestine and a few others.
You're talking about helping them escape. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you said bringing them to there.
Nope. So then they go to McCrag, which is under assault by the Black Legion.
Yep.
And then everyone's trying to protect Gulliman, and Xenos magic and Call Ingenuity revives a Primarch.
Oh, yeah, they also bring Call.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Call.
They picked him up along the way.
He was on the way. He was just...
Yeah. Well, no, he was at Cadia.
He was dusting off his Primaris Marines. But yeah, so they're really entrenched in this kind of new setup of 40K. They're kind of really, really introduced in a way that kind of make them main players. I mean, that's just a really... high-level overview of kind of their story so far, because there isn't a huge amount out there right now for them.
So based off of their fluff that we have covered just here now, and that I'm sure you all read previously, you would think that they have to be clearly like the most badass mini codex ever, like the most overpowered thing you've ever heard of, right? Just based off of that. I mean, just listen to their exploits so far.
No, that was their previous set of rules.
Yeah. So their previous set of rules were good. They were thematic. Too abusable. I think...
Not too abusable. They were way abusable.
It was a holdover from a last edition where they thought that they could keep the same mechanic that they had previously in 7th edition.
And
where
it
they
turned
got
out
extra activations, and that was
like,
too much.
Right.
Like Flyrant in 15 power level of OP.
They were a little overpowered, this edition. I think the index brings them in line thematically to where they should be, and power level where they should be. I think the only way to keep going with the old Strength from Death rule was an entire codex with different points for things like Dark Reapers, like Ynarri Dark Reapers being more expensive.
Right. More Shining Spears, etc., etc.
Yeah, but keeping wise, that gets messy as shit.
Yeah, for real.
I mean, right now, you only need one book just to even be able to play the game. Right?
Okay, that was a joke.
Jesus.
Dude, I can't tell.
We can't reach you tonight.
Like a stone.
Well,
we get irritated family
I'm
Dave
fossilized.
I mean, a kidney stone.
I've been fighting through that all day too, actually.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
That's awful.
No, I don't even remember what I was saying. Hit the thing again. There it is.
But the way it's being set up now is they can continue to kind of amalgamate their army throughout all the codexes, and they're set up still in a way where they should be a rare occurrence. Like Ynarri Force, even in 40K, even with their following, they're a splinter offshoot of a dying tiny race.
Sure.
Right? Mm-hmm. So they're not going to be like a huge, crazy thing.
Right. They're like the Mormons, if you will.
I think
of the Eldar.
I would say right now that's the case.
Right.
So I think they're gaining popularity.
Well, yeah. I mean, that was the case
not
for
in
a
their
while, too.
playing the game, but like in the stories.
In the story arc. Yeah, in the fluff and lore. They're slowly picking up more and more stuff.
I'm really looking forward to them fleshing them out more with the full codex for them with some unique Ynarri units. I think they need that.
So, I mean, in 2 years when 9th happens?
I mean, I think even in a year when they're out of codexes. I mean, if you look at it,
I think maybe even this year.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Nah, not gonna happen this year.
I think
they wouldn't have put it in the index if that was the case.
Even if it's next year,
they would have just previewed.
You don't think those
insider information? Apparently.
Well, no, it's like even if you wait until next year, look at some of the codexes we've had come out, like Renegade Knights. Who the fuck thought we were going to get a whole book for Renegade Knights?
It's not out yet. We don't know how big it's going to be. It could just be one night and like 2 and 3 stratagems.
Oh, you mean what I spent $30 on for Imperial Knight Codex 1 with 2 models in it there?
There's going to be at least 5 data sheets, I think.
2, 3. Yeah, there were 3 new in that.
But-
I fully agree with you. I think they're going to have
Or-
their own set of rules.
Anything could happen, but what needed to happen was some housekeeping on their rules and their power level in the
Right.
meantime. So even if they're doing that stuff right now, they couldn't be let to run amok as they were.
Agreed. Yep.
So the only thing I wish that this was, because you really can't do mono faction them for the most part. You can try, but they're missing a bunch of key pieces. They don't factor through for
I have a
Craft World.
2,000 point list that begs to differ.
Well, so wait. So you mean monofaction by picking one aspect of Eldari? Like one of the 3 codexes?
Or just like a
mono
pure
faction in the
Ynarri
sense
army.
that just pure Ynarri army. Like
Because once you add the Ynarri special character, it becomes a Ynarri army for each detachment.
right, except that you lose access to some of the other stuff that other So if you had here's a Ynarri detachment, and here is a Cabal of the Black Heart detachment, and here is a Uthway detachment, or I don't know what's the key regular Craft World detachment that gives you the best benefits. You don't have the ability to have you can't cast Doom and Guide from a Ynarri detachment.
Sure.
You can't cast Jinx. I'm just
Yeah.
right. What I'm saying is that they factor in better in a full soup as opposed to a mono.
Okay.
Do
So
you
does
disagree?
everything.
Yeah.
Not
I don't
necessarily.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's false.
I mean, everything benefits, but it's not one of those things where you could just be just that. Do you see what I'm saying?
Well, so as an example, my Ynarri list has 2 Ynarri battalions
Right.
that are one is Drukhari and one is Harlequins, but they're both Ynarri.
So they're true Ynarri. So they lose no. You have no solitaires.
Nope.
You have no.
Other stuff.
Other
But
stuff that you can't
it's
have.
definitely possible. I guess the best way to kind of like maybe go along this and see some of this stuff. Danny, why don't you tell us your list to kind of see what a 2K Ynarri army is?
Hold on.
And then
You want to set up the Plastic General music since we're
I
playing.
do not have that set up right now. So we're not going to
So
Plastic
can
General
we at least
music right now.
pretend that we're going to actually play
This
Plastic
is
General?
Plastic General-esque. How about that?
Well, it's not. It's Plastic General.
Oh, okay.
We're literally playing Plastic General here. You challenged us with the
All right.
Vizark model.
Well, why don't you tell me what your list is?
Well, we foolishly didn't truly decide on a points total, so I have 1,000 points.
Okay, well, I mean, that still works.
Right.
So, like, what is a great 1,000-point Ynarri list
Oh, can I see one of your battalions then, Danny?
involving the... involving...
He
oh,
asked
sorry.
he asked what a. I'm sorry. Hold on. Look at my face. John said, "What is a great 1,000-point?" And I said, "Hey, Danny, can I see your list then?" Does that translate better now? Oh, Jesus Christ! Fucking out of here. Fuck this.
Dude, wow, I might be autistic. All right,
Jesus. There's nothing wrong with that. So I have 1,000
No,
points, and
no,
it is
there's not.
It is not the best. I felt like it was a good starter.
So tell us about your list.
So I've got the Vizark because we challenged with the Plastic General. We had to use the Vizark.
Yep.
Okay. I have a battalion detachment in my 1,000 points. I have the Vizark, and I have the Yakarn, and I have 3 squads of Dire Avengers with the Dire Avenger Exarch with the Shimmer Shield and Power Glaive.
Okay.
To round that out. And then I'm running a unit of 5 Wraithblades, and then I have 2 Warwalkers who we have already established suck
Okay.
in previous games.
They have their uses.
They have their uses. So
They can be kind of cool for recon sometimes.
one of the things that the Yakarn has is the ability to teleport to a unit that had just died.
Sure.
So what I have in mind with this is that the Vizark, the Dire Avengers, and the Wraithblades travel across. Depending on what the matchup is, I'm going to put one of the spend the CP to put one of the Dire Avengers into the Webway
Okay.
and pop out. The Warwalkers get to Webway for free, so I can
Well,
get the.
I mean, it's not Webway. It's like
Yeah, I'm
whatever the
sorry.
rule
Yeah,
is.
yeah. I get to infiltrate for free. I get to come onto the table.
outflank.
Yeah. So I get to come onto the table edge, so I can get on your side of the table. It's going to put a threat on the back door. They're just running the bare bones 60-point Warwalkers.
Which is how they should be.
Right.
I think.
They should for this. They're just a way to teleport the Incarn across the board
Okay.
and get it over there. And possibly bring in, maybe I bring in a squad of Dire Avengers at the same time with it or something, using the Incarn's ability that is,
Summoned by death.
thank you, summoned by death. So my working with this is just a small group. It's not particularly great tactically wise. It's missing a lot of long range shooting elements. You've got the ability to hold some. You got the ability to move out and take some depending on what you're doing. I just kind of liked it. It seemed very fluffy and very thematically Ynarri.
Sure.
Using the Vizark, I could see the Vizark leading the Wraithblades across the table and the Dyers, and I could see the Incarn just boom teleporting across when a Warwalker blows up, which it will in the first 5 seconds it hits the table because they're terrible. But also, barring that, you can have one on that side of the table to take, if you bring them both in on 2 different spots, because I made them 2 separate units instead of together.
Mm-hmm.
You just put 2 targets over they've got to choose, and then you've got the ability to move them over there. And then you got this big badass psychic Incarn on top of you, ready to throw down. You know what I mean? The Warwalker's going to die in their turn, so the Incarn doesn't get to charge, but next turn he does.
Yeah.
So, they're bait. The Warwalkers are bait in my list.
Yeah, cool.
Okay.
120 points of let me get this big badass across the table.
Sure.
And that's my 1,000 points. If I was going to round it out, I'd probably throw in a Crimson Hunter or 2, or the Hemlock Wraith Fighter, something a little different. I probably wouldn't do not Dyers, but Dark Reapers, just because I don't feel like they benefit anymore from Strength from Death, whereas I have developed kind of, aside from the Dire Avengers, a mostly close combat themed army, which does benefit from Strength from Death, which is get to fight first, and even if you didn't charge, and +1 attack, if they're already under the effect of it and they did charge, the Incarn gets extra bonuses to rip up people's faces.
Sure.
I kind of liked it. Plus, there's a couple different stratagems that tie into that really well.
For sure. Yeah. So I did a 2K list for my one. Because again, we didn't agree, and I forgot to ask or say, hey, this is what we're doing.
We did not say that.
This might
we just
shock
said Vizark, and
this might shock some people. We do not plan sometimes.
This was meticulously planned, actually, that I would screw up.
But sort of what I did is I kind of looked.
As John is fond of saying, next time will be better.
You can always improve.
He's gonna buy a new list, spend extra money for a new. Oh fuck me, I'm done. Never mind. This has been fun. Mute me.
So what I whenever I'm starting to do an army, I've started kind of looking at strats first, maybe some rules that I want to kind of maximize their use of. And things like that. And really, when you're talking Ynarri, you got to talk Strength from Death as being their number 1 rule. It's the thing they have that no one else has. Now, what it is if a unit dies, you get either a hit first in the fight phase, or you get +1 to hit in the fight phase. So Ynarri is an assault army now. So I want to have that going off all the time. So I want to combine that with the stratagem which says if you kill the enemy's warlord, you spend, I think, was it 2 command points, Danny?
Yeah, I think that is what
2,
it is.
Then you are permanently Strength from Death.
Yep.
So with that in mind, I took a Ynarri battalion with the Vizark and an Autarch. I took 3 units of Rangers because I want to be peppering their warlord with sniper shots the entire game, because my first goal is to get that guy done. So that they can be out there. I have 3 units of Wraithblades. And 3 Wave Serpents, leaving enough room in the tank for the Autarch for the Vizark, because again the Vizark has a rule that he can ride in any transport. To kind of top that off, I have a Reborn Harlequin detachment led by Uvrain, with 3 squads of 4 Skyweavers.
Okay.
So the idea behind this list here is anything big. Hopefully we pepper down with mortal wounds from the Skyweavers. If the Skyweavers start to fall, Uvrain's going to be taking Word of the Phoenix, which is a psychic power for Ynarri bikers or infantries.
That's pretty cool, actually.
Yep.
You either lose D3, or you regain D3 wounds, or you regain a model back with 1 wound.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
which is
pretty
awesome. On those
nice.
Harlequin bikers, that is amazing. So I want to be using that. I also want to be using things like re-rolling to wound, Unbind Souls, which is like a cheap close combat version of Doom. So you're re-rolling wounds against a specific unit that you're choosing. All the Ynarri psychic powers are dirt cheap. They're
the casting values are low.
They're really affordable. Like that one.
Well, they're the bargain basement versions of stuff.
Well, that one to bring back an entire biker for me is a 5.
And with Yvraine, that's a 4.
With
she gets
Yvraine,
+1.
that's a 4. So I mean, that's crazy. Yvraine can fit in one of the wave serpents, jump out, heal someone, and then the main strength of the list comes from just 15 wraith blades, backed up by the Visarch and an Autarch, so I can spread them wide and still have rerolling ones to hit. Rerolling wounds on any big value models. I have 15 snipers just focused on the warlord, trying to get me to be able to pop that strength from death as soon as possible. Because a unit of Wraithblades charging in, hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s is disgusting. And it will mince stuff up. So that's kind
what
of...
gives them the +1 to hit? Sorry.
Strength from death. If they charge...
if they charge, right.
So if they charge, they're hitting on 2s.
Right.
And even if they don't charge, they're hitting on 3s. I think that's super solid, and it's a very hit and run army. And the nice thing about it, I mean, you can do your typical, like, usual Eldar thing of you buffer with wave serpents to eat up some Overwatch so that these guys go in, because the problem with the Wraithblades is they're super expensive. Buffering with the wave serpents so that all of your Wraithblades can make it in. And the benefit of taking an Autarch and the Visarch is you can spread out the rerolls to hit.
Sure.
Across multiple squads rather than trying to kind of keep everyone bubbled up in like a little 6-inch bubble. So that's my 2K list there.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I like that one.
Yeah.
The wave serpents are always good too. Like that's solid.
For sure.
So, based solely off of those 2 lists, Danny, and the fact that we normally play Plastic General in such a way that has to be a judge before you reveal the list that you have also created, because, well, you're better than than we are. Whose list do you like better?
Would Dave's 1,000-point list beat my 2,000-point list?
I've seen you roll dice lately. The answer to that is actually maybe.
So on your list, how big are your Dire Avenger squads? Are they just 5-mans?
They're only 5s.
Oh, okay. I think I like John's list better, like with that in mind. I really like the Incarn. I think the Incarn needs to be in your list. Like, I think that's a key component of the army. I actually like the Incarn significantly more than I like Yvraine. Because I think Yvraine is bad now. Like, not bad, but like, I don't think she's super good.
She's not as good as she was.
No, well, because the psychic lore changed so much.
Yeah.
That she's not the linchpin piece that she used to be, I think.
So you like the fact that I included the Incarn.
So the cool thing about the Incarn, right, is that if he's your warlord or you spend a CP to give him a warlord trait, because you can spend. That's one of the cool things with this faction is you can spend 1 CP
and have a
unlimited number of times, and give all of your characters warlord traits. Right?
Neat. I think, isn't it only 1, maybe 2?
This one here.
It's not unlimited.
It's like
though,
one Ynarri character from your army that is not your warlord. But it doesn't say you can't use that stratagem multiple times. But actually,
it doesn't say that you can't.
But it says select 1 from your army. You can only use this stratagem once.
Oh, it says that? Okay,
yeah.
my bad.
Yeah.
All right, well, then you can take 2 warlord traits, right?
Right.
So, like, I would not make the Incarn my warlord because I'd be afraid that he's going to die, like, too quickly. Like, because he's going to be in risky positions, because that's the whole point of him. His warlord trait, though, is amazing. If he benefits from strength from death, he gets +1 strength and +1 attack. So he's 7 attacks at strength 7, rerolling failed wound rolls, which is beefy.
Yeah, it is. It's very brutal. That was why I tagged him as the warlord in this.
And the D6 damage is solid. Yeah. And he gets 2 psychic powers. And he has a 6-up Feel No Pain. And he has a 4-up Invul. So he's pretty rad. And he can heal wounds, obviously.
Yep. If a unit dies near him.
Yeah. So I think I like John's list in this case better.
Of course you do.
Yeah, and like I'm taking this in a vacuum too, right? Like I'm looking at this from like, okay, what about other 1,000-point lists compared to what about like 2K lists? So the Incarn is going to be a beast at 1,000 points, right? Like it's going to be hard to stop, but it's going to be very tactical to put him in the right place at the right time. Like that's going to be the hardest part of playing that list, because the Incarn can sometimes just win the game all by himself. Just because he can take out key models because he has fly, so he can charge over units now.
Again,
right? Or move over units and that kind of stuff. So He's oh my god, I can't say enough good things about him. But yeah, overall, John's list I think has better synergy though with the Ynarri, like the way that you knew Ynarri plays, because your list is not very close combat focused with the exception of the Wraithblades and the Incarn and the Vizark, right? And you're really character heavy there too, right? So that's like,
well, okay, I guess I'm at 2 because I do have the 3 Exarchs.
Sure.
Yeah, the Dire Avenger Exarchs.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, it's not bad. It's just, I just don't think it's as good as John's. That's all. I love you, Dave.
And then my list, I
it's
would
like
be
comparing apples to oranges. However, because if we made John pick 1,000-point list, it'd be different. It'd be different.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. You're right.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, it would still be probably very close combat. I would probably be making. My 2K list. I would be making the Vizark my Warlord, and then doing that stratagem for the extra Warlord trait to give the Autarch a favorite of Enid, which is instead of a 3-inch consolidation or pile-in or consolidation, he gets a 6-inch one.
That one's good too.
So then that way, because again, I want to keep him back, so he's buffing things as much as possible, but if needs be, he can kind of scoot about and kind of go in wherever.
I also really like Lord of Rebirth.
Yeah. So when they lose, they regain 1 lost wound at the start of each battle round. And also disgustingly resilient.
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And remember, too, that these characters can come back to life with the stratagem as well.
Yep.
So that's why CP is going to be important for them.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, honestly, I think Ynarri are a great list. I mean, well, actually, Danny, what would your 2K new Ynarri be?
Would have been if you were actually playing in the Plastic General, since we have to let the fans decide who was better. And it's clearly going to be me. # John's list sucks.
All right. So I have a reborn Harlequin battalion and a reborn Drukhari battalion as my 2 detachments in 2,000 points.
All right. So you've got the cards and the prizes. Okay. Got it.
So I took the Harlequin's attachment is a Shadow Seer, the Vizark, and a Troop Master. Now, the Shadow Seer is great because he gives a nice buff to the Harlequin troops that I'm going to be running.
Mm-hmm.
And he has and he will also be able to cast some of the great psychic powers that they have as well. So he's a 2-power caster, which is awesome. The Troop Master is great because he gives an awesome synergy of rerolling failed to wound rolls for all the troops within 6 inches of him, because that won't change.
Right.
And he can take a power sword, which means he's eligible to take the special Ynarri sword, the relic.
Ooh, relics.
Yeah.
The fancy relic sword?
The Hungering Blade, I think.
The Hungering Blade is a strength +3. So for Eldar, that's strength 4. AP -3, damage 2. Each wound roll of 6 or more for an attack made with this weapon inflicts 1 mortal wound in addition to damage. It's like a baby Azerman sword.
I mean, it sounds okay, I guess.
So he's got 5 strength 6 attacks that reroll failed to wound rolls with 2 flat damage, and 6s get mortals. So he's a little combat beast.
I hate this list already. Taylor's going to be running this list on Saturday.
No, he's not. His list is much better. All right, so then I've got 3 5-man troops with 3 fusion pistols and 3 Harlequin caresses. Oh no, it's 2 caresses, 1 kiss.
This is the Harlequins, okay?
Yeah, so that gives me some anti-tank with the fusion pistols, and they can fly around in 3 Starweavers. Yeah. Now the Starweavers are transport capacity 6, so I can stick all of my Harlequin characters plus the Viziarch in those.
I just like the picture of the Viziarch. I mean, if you were to actually do this, I would require you to model the Viziarch just hanging on.
You know what? He would look regal as fuck on the back of that.
Like, like he would be hanging off the side kind of thing, just like, I got this, yo.
And like chopping people's heads off with a sword as he drove by.
Isn't that the model stance where one hand is out and he's like pointing?
No, his arm is like down. I think his arm is
like
down.
Somebody told his arm it was bad at rolling dice and fat, and he just got all upset.
I think he's like, his sword is off to the side, and he's like looking forward, but his other hand is like open but down.
I thought his other hand was.
I don't think he's a pointer.
No, he's not. I'm gonna Google while Danny tells us the rest of his list.
Anyway,
gross.
So the cool thing about this, like just in the little integral combo here that you have, is you have troops that hit on 2s, rerolling 1s from the Vizark.
Right.
And then you have like 3 attacks apiece, rerolling failed to wound rolls.
Okay.
And then finally, the Drukhari Battalion. I have an Archon and the Incarn as my HQs.
Oh, dang, nice.
And the Archon is great in this too.
Yeah.
Like, he's a solid choice, and especially if he gets reroll to wound rolls. He can be a beast. And then I have
he's your warlord. The Autarch is.
I think I haven't honestly. I didn't decide who I wanted to make my warlord. I think I might make the Troop Master my warlord or the Vizark. I forget what the Vizark's warlord trait is.
Okay.
It's the one with the mortal wounds on 6s, I believe.
Oh really? Oh, that might be good. Anyway,
oh no, I'm sorry. Each hit roll of 6 is 2 hits instead of 1.
ooh, that's pretty fucking. Is it 6+ or natural 6?
Hit roll of a 6. Each unmodified hit roll of a 6.
It's all right.
Still good.
Yeah. I might put that on the Harlequin.
Yeah.
That might be a little bit more brutal.
Extra hits or extra wounds.
Yeah.
Just exploding clown confetti everywhere of hits and wounds.
Exactly. Exactly.
Dee.
So I have Archon, Incarn, and then I have, since I can do this with Drukhari and I don't care, I have witches as troops instead of Capellites because I don't care about keeping the consistency between that stuff.
Oh, sure.
So I have 2 units of 20 witches, both with Shardnet and Impalers, max number on those, and then 1 unit of 5 witches, and then I have a unit of 8 incubi with a raider.
Okay. Seems pretty solid.
It doesn't shoot.
Don't you have to? Wasn't Incubi the one that you had to pay actually?
I will pay a CP on the
use
Incubi.
the CP to get them in the. Okay.
To give them strength from death, but then they're hitting on 2s, which is gross. Like they'll be
it's
really
disgusting.
good.
That's why it costs a strategy point.
Right. And the witches will be solid, I think. Like honestly,
Witches are really good. They just YOLO up the table.
Right. And yeah, they'll hit decently well, and they'll be a tie-up unit. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to keep 1 unit in reserve and teleport them through the webway assault.
Yep.
Or whatever the Ynarri equivalent is. I forgot what it's called.
I think that's actually what it
Webway
is.
ambush.
Yeah. Okay.
There's like webway assault, webway something. Like all of them are different.
Yeah.
They all have different names. So you can do them if you have multiple detachments. You can do like all of your stuff in the webway. Anyway, so and then I'll yellow the other one. I'll yeet the other one right up the table, and then try and get that in combat as quickly as possible. So, and then I'll try and bring the other one in and deep strike it and charge.
Okay.
But yeah.
So how does this list win?
Okay, so this list wins by tying up your important shooting units with the witches, because there's 20 of them and they can't fall back. If there's
20 in
a
each
Shardnet.
squad?
Yeah, there's 40 witches total.
Okay.
And they have a 4+ symbol on close combat, and if the Incarn is around, then there are 6 that feel no pain as well.
Right. Okay.
Nice.
And then I can kill you with the Harlequins. The Harlequins are the Montka, if you will.
The heavy hitters.
They're the ones that chop you up. I think I might have problems with some, also Incubi. Incubi are good at that as well, and so is the Incarn. I think it might have problems with something like a Knight, but I think that in general, Ynarri probably might have problems with that. Like John's list is probably better at taking on something like that because the Skyweavers, and that's a good choice. I don't know why I didn't think.
Did you
of them.
say Skyweavers in your list?
I did. The
He
jet
has-
bikes.
He has 12 of them.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Because for me, I was like, I need to maximize the rules, which is a close combat, but you can't just focus on close combat. So I'm like, what's the best thing at taking down big vehicles that Eldar have? Skyweavers.
Clearly, it's a snow speeder and a harpoon gun.
it turns out also Skyweavers are really good at close combat. Actually,
Oh, yeah. But also turns out that I don't really give a shit about your invulnerable save if I'm just doing mortal wounds to you.
true story.
I really want to see a Harlequin Skyweaver modeled with a harpoon gun on the back.
Poon? Like the Poon from the Big Knight, though, right?
No, like the little poon fired by,
Everybody likes the little poon.
Wedge.
All right,
No baby Poon.
no, not like that.
What?
No, dude, why'd you have to go there?
God, why'd
Like
you
a
go that far?
harpoon.
You know what?
All right,
we're
moving on. Yeah, so that's been the Plastic General and Mob Rules.
Douchebag.
We'll see you in 10 to 25.
Oh,
They're going to confiscate all of Sean's new equipment to look for kitty porn.
heck yes, they are. Hey, so we're going to be back in about 2 weeks. We're going to be talking about Dark Imperium Plague War, which is our next book coming up for our book review. Mortarion versus Guilliman in the 41st Millennium. Kind of looking into some more of the Primaris lore and kind of stuff coming out of there. Danny and I both read that book. It's amazing, and it kind of really kind of humanizes a lot of the G.I. Joes that suddenly showed up out of nowhere. So I'm excited for that. We're going to talk about that a lot more in 2 weeks.
I'm excited for Toby Longworth to read it to me. So,
I mean, who isn't? who isn't there? But yeah, so as always for Mob Rules, I've been John.
I've been Dave.
I've been Danny.
And we will see you next time.